Hello, everyone. I'll be starting in just a second. Okay. That looks good. That looks good. Okay, a little bit. 1 second, please. Real professional. That's good enough for me. Okay. I think we're good. This more towards. Oh, that's worse. Why do I always do it wrong? There we go. There we go. I didn't know that, Roth. I had no idea. All right, we're starting. What do we got? Okay. Get this out of here. 3, 2, 1. Go Nintendo Podcast, webisode 1031. The Charizard Podcast. If Charizard becomes truly angered, the flame at the tip of its tail burns in a light blue shade. It's 5 feet, basically 200 pounds, male and female. Category is flame. Abilities include Blaze, 420 Blaze It. Powers up fire type moves when the Pokemon's HP is low. That's the end of the Pokemon section. Hello to you lovely people. Let me say hello to everybody at the table first, and then I will get hellos to the Discord. Hello, Josh Grobot, my old friend. How are you doing?
Shut up. I don't care.
Excellent. Do you want to talk about anything, or are you just going to be your usual self?
Call of Duty, bro.
Well, I mean, what did I post? I posted something about Call of Duty today. Early access, yes. You'll be able to get into the game a week early for those who, I don't know, pre-order or so. I don't know. Listen, I'm new to the Call of Duty thing. I haven't covered Call of Duty in a very long time. So, Josh, I'm sorry, but I'll do better.
Thanks. Very cool.
Thank you. Very cool. Speaking of very cool, George is here. George, how are you doing? I'm feeling just lime. Thank you. Have a good week. Oh, yeah. I was online watching the old Nintendo Direct and having the time of my life. Well, I'm glad to hear that, George. Yes, I was online as well covering it, which wasn't exactly fun, but that's a perfect segue for me to thank JM and Quence for their help on the Nintendo Direct. If you were following our Nintendo Direct coverage live, it was a 3-person team. It was myself, it was Quence, and it was JM, and we were trading off stories and publishing them and all that as the event was going on. And then afterwards, I was tackling, stuff in the Japanese Direct and other little tidbits that popped up while Quence was filling all the posts with assets, so screenshots and artwork and box art and the little info blurbs that are in there too. I personally don't like doing that stuff at all. That is so time consuming and so frustrating that it just drives me nuts. But Quence apparently enjoys doing it, or so he says. So it's a blessing to have Quence doing that stuff because he can do that while I'm doing the other stuff. So again, thank you to Quence. Thank you to JM for that support during the Nintendo Direct. Thank you to you guys for Stitch. That's a great face. That's Devin's, right? Devin, what's her name? The new president of Nintendo here. Thanks to all you guys for supporting Go Nintendo. In general and throughout the Nintendo Direct in the days after, we got once again lots of great support and very far-reaching and millions of impressions. Not an exaggeration. We were once again the front page of regular Reddit, thanks to your support. Not gaming Reddit, not Nintendo Reddit, just regular front page of Reddit. not logged in Reddit. So the real snapshot of what the world's talking about, I think we made it up to number 15 overall on the front page of Reddit for one of our posts about Ocarina of Time. Spoiler alert. But thank you. Is that, I mean, I think it's crazy. Do you guys not think it's crazy that decades, literally decades after I started GoNintendo, we are still able to reach that far and do things like that, hit the front page of GoNintendo? And it's funny because the way I found out we were on the front page of GoNintendo, or front page of Reddit, the way I found out we were on the front page of Reddit was I was doing things on the back end of the site. I was uploading pictures for a story, and I was like, why is this taking so long? God, this. And I was like, wait a minute. It's probably because of traffic. And then I went and snooped around. It's like, yeah, that would be the reason. There was a stint there where uploading images to GoNintendo was taking like 10 times longer than it should have. And that's always an indicator that something's going on. So there you go. Thank you for that support. Now, thank yous to the Discord with the people here with me right now. Thank you for joining me. Nintendo, staffer of the site, and just a fan of GoNintendo. Nintendo and I have had some lovely chats on the side in Discord. We've slid into each other's DMs to talk about any number of things, Nintendo, video game related, and other stuff too. But hello, Nintendo and Kalta and It's Stitched and Roth and Mikey Vids and Rotzel with a lovely GIF related to the Amazing Digital Circus, which I am like, oh my God, so excited. I'll explain why in a second. Hello, Roth, if I didn't say that, and Nightwind and Eli, who says they won't be able to join live, but have fun. I'll try my best to have fun. Hello, Gecko Kitsune and Vachi and Burn and Cheese and whoever else joins us in here. Thanks for spending part of your day with me. Yes, just me. Nikki Hill. Hello, Retsuza. Did I say? Hello. Not hello. Nikki Hill is not here. He is working. Nikki Hill, we speak your name. Dew Michaels is not here. He's visiting with his mother, who does not live in this state. She's in this state now, but not usually here. So they're spending some time together. And Mom Brain is not here because I don't remember. I knew she wasn't going to be here, and I knew she had to go out and oh, she told me so many times what she had to go do, and I don't remember. She had to buy something. I'm terrible. My brain's been a mess with all the stuff going on, but Mom Brain's not here. And also very, very, very important today. Well, actually, Josh, you know, oh my God, I can't see anything without my glasses. I'm a million years old. Josh, you know what I want from you, although this is so annoying. This is so annoying. Josh, you know what I want from you, so you can just have at it while I'm talking if you want. I'd like to wish a very, very special happy birthday to none other than Dew Michaels and Nintendo, who both share the same birthday, June 12th. Today is their birthday. I hope they're having lovely birthdays. I wish both of them a happy birthday. Now, Josh has as well. So congratulations to them in a good way, not in the usual do way, but they're celebrating their birthdays. And that is actually why we're not doing the podcast tomorrow, because my sister's having a birthday party at a place, a big shindig, a big get together, a big hullabaloo. And we will be attending that. So no podcast. We need Nintendo on the pod again soon. I agree. It is her birthday. I will annoy her anyway right now and tell her that. Nintendo, I am doing the podcast by myself today because your birthday party is tomorrow, so I had to shift the schedule. And someone in the chat right now says we need Nintendo on the pod again soon. So there's your invite. There you go. Voice note sent to her. Mission accomplished. I know she wants to be on it. It's just she's a very busy lady. And I have been a busy man doing a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, yes, Rotzel, thank you for sending another GIF because I remembered. Yes, I'm excited about the Amazing Digital Circus because I don't know if you saw the news. I posted it on GoNintendo yesterday. Boy, was I excited to see this. Characters from the Amazing Digital Circus will be in FortNite tonight. I am officially changing my FortNite skin. I've been running as All Might from My Hero Academia for a while now, but tonight I will be purchasing a new skin because Jax and Pomni will be playable skins in FortNite, and I will be going with it. Where's the drum on this thing? Drum roll. I don't usually do the soundboard. See, I should stop doing this damn stuff and just drum roll. Here we go. I will be choosing Pomni. What's this? No. I wanted the Windows noise, but I don't know where it is. Yeah, hi, Mike Croddick. Good to see you. I'm playing as Pomni because I really like Pomni. Nintendo has messaged back with 3 smiling heart face emojis, so she feels the love. But yeah, that was really cool. I thought the announcement trailer that they did for it was really well done. And obviously, while Jax is of a height that makes sense for a FortNite skin, Pomni is not. Pomni is pretty small. But in the reveal trailer, they explain how they are adjusting Pomni's skin for FortNite, and I thought it was fantastic. Really well done. So yes, very excited. So eager to get into the game tonight and buy that skin and play as that until the next skin that I deem worthy becomes available. I don't know what that would be, but there's always another skin. Listen, if it's an anime skin, there's a chance I'm going to want it. But will I want it more than Pomni? I don't know. If they did Fooly Cooley skins, oh my God, I'd be all over that. Any Fooly Cooley skin. Give me Lord Conti or Haruko or Nauta or anybody. I would take any of them. But there's other ones. But anyway, who the hell wants to talk about Fortnite? We've been talking about, or we've had so many game reveals lately. I might have to drop the brightness here on this iPad. Its batteries. Come on now. Its battery's draining fast. There's been so many reveals going on. We are finally out of the Summer Game Fest window. Hello, Tall Show. Good to see you. Summer Game Fest brought us, I think, 8,000 different presentations from, obviously, there was the big ones from PlayStation and Microsoft. And as was rumored, Nintendo did do a Nintendo Direct, which we'll be talking about. But a whole bunch of other companies did their own things. And we talked about some last week, but I was really just getting into the hellscape that is covering all that stuff. And now I am out of it. Very happy to be out of it because there were so many and there was so much to do. And it's insane. So frustrating, but we're out of it. I'm taking a drink. I knew I did do the podcast today, so I made a point to not drink anything before the show because I can't get up for a pee break because nobody else is here. But yeah, there was a lot to cover, but obviously the most important is the Nintendo Direct, which I will be covering at length. And I have a lot of things to talk about and a lot of thoughts to share. And I think I'm going to have no problem keeping this show going because there's so much I want to say and there's so much to talk about. But who knows? Who knows what'll happen? We'll see. We'll see. I'm feeling it out as we go. But yes, let me do the Patreon stuff first. And then we'll get right into the Nintendo Direct. Did you know you can join the Patreon
for $1?
For $1. Thank you to those who just joined this week. It's much appreciated. And thank you to those who've been subscribed forever. What did I talk about this week? I talked about gaming crossovers, and that was spurred on by something that was announced at Summer Game Fest last week, which was really crazy. So they showed a trailer for Sonic Racing Cross Worlds to showcase some of the DLC that's out now or coming soon that we already knew about, as well as DLC that we didn't know was coming and now do. And among that, so I'm covering the trailer because I got to cover that for work, obviously. And I'm watching to keep note of what's being revealed. And they show that Godzilla DLC is joining Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. And I'm like, what? Whatever. I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. And I'm not like, no Godzilla. It's just, what? Why Godzilla? But it's all fine with me. So I was laughing at that. And in my mind, I was like, that's the craziest DLC I've seen for this game. Well, I would eat those words literally seconds later because Sega then revealed that Sonic Racing Cross Worlds will have a crossover with Neon Genesis Evangelion. And I was like, what? What? I know Evangelion has crossovers with anything. It literally seems like no matter what, Evangelion, the people in charge of the property, will sign off on any crossover. They will do anything with anyone. So it's not surprising that it will be in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds from a perspective of allowing it, but from a perspective of it's happening. I'm like, who even thought of this? Like maybe Sega was like, Ava works with everybody. Well, let's get them in the game. So characters and the Ava units from Evangelion will be in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. And when I saw it, I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna play Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Not that I've ever really been against it, but I've never had that like extra push to get in on it. But with Evangelion stuff there, because I'm that big of a fan and a much bigger weeb in general, I'm gonna have to check that out because it's just so crazy. I don't know. I don't understand. Yes, you're right, Rotzel. When is Evangelion going to be in Fortnite? It seems isn't it strange that Ava's in so much stuff and Fortnite is the king of crossover games, yet we haven't seen any Ava stuff in there. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, that's Sonic Racing Cross. Also, in that trailer, we saw that there's going to be Pico Park, Sonic themed Pico Park content. And it seems like a whole new batch of stages that play just as Pico Park does, but with Sonic characters. There's Tails, Knuckles, Sonic, and Amy. I don't remember. I think Amy. She'd fill out the four, right? That'd make sense. So I'm a big fan of Pico Park. I've played Pico Park 1 and 2 with friends from beginning to end. We've done and seen it all. And I, of course, want more. And I don't care what crossover it is. Just give me more Pico Park levels and I'm in. So Sonic Pico Park stages. All we know that it is that it's releasing on Steam so far. But with both Pico Park games going to Switch, I have no doubt that it'll end up on Switch too as well. Hopefully day and date with Steam whenever that ends up happening, but we shall see. But regardless, crazy trailer all around, but I'm here for it. So yes, all of that spurred me on to write a post about crossovers and collaborations and all that and how people feel about them and what you think and what your favorites are or what you'd like to see, all that jazz. So I wrote about that. I also wrote about Dusk Fade, which we got just in the last week, confirmation that it is coming to Switch 2. Dusk Fade is a brand new 3D platformer that combines elements. There's some like Sonic rail grinding in there, but there's lots of platforming and combat and everything. It just looks like a I don't mean this as a bad thing. It looks like a 3D platformer of an era that's gone by, like the era that was alive during the GameCube. And Vex just keeps coming to mind. It reminded me of Vex a lot, maybe not in somewhat in style, but in terms of gameplay, it just gave me Vex vibes. And that GameCube era had a whole bunch of 3D platformers, and that's when they really started to die out after that era. Just seemed to be like a genre that I don't know. Companies weren't getting a good return on, or companies felt had its time in the sun, and now sun was setting because they were looking more towards first-person shooters and stuff like that. Whatever the reason, they moved away from it. Now we're getting more. We're getting back towards 3D platformers certainly, and we've seen a lot of love from indie developers. We don't really see the big third parties or the big big third parties don't really do anything in terms of 3D platformers very, 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 very rarely. Um, Not like indies are doing now. And then obviously Nintendo still does their 3D platformers, but we're getting more nowadays than we have been in recent years, and that's great to see. And Dusk Fade is one of them coming to Switch 2. It's August something. I don't remember. August 13th, August 14th. That sounds right. But I'm taking a drink. But that looked interesting to me, and I'm down to give it a try. It doesn't look like a mind-blowing 3D platformer, but it does look fun, and I like the genre in general, and I want to be there to support it, so I will be. So I shared a new trailer and talked about that. Obviously, I posted about the Nintendo Direct being announced, so I'm skipping that one. I also talked about the Ocarina of Time reveal, not so much about the game's reveal itself, but how the game being revealed has led to me really changing how I feel about remakes and approaching the situation much differently. And I think I'll save that conversation for later when it comes up during the Nintendo Direct discussion, because I have a lot I want to say about that. Um, I'm coming to you to ask for forgiveness. There's a lot to it, and it's probably not going to be in the way that you think, but we are people. We learn, we grow, we change. Hopefully, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to learn and grow. I'm not going to say you're supposed to change. Change happens sometimes, whether you want it to or not. But change happens. But you are supposed. You're supposed to learn and grow. And many people don't do that. But I've always found myself to be one of those people. And like a Pokemon, I'm evolving, and I will address that more in more detail shortly. I also wrote about how I believe some of the gaming press is unable to see beyond itself. Obviously, this is in relation to Nintendo Direct, but it's a conversation I've been mulling over in my own head for a while now, because there are often articles written by gaming press, big and small, where I really don't understand how the author has come to the stance that they've arrived at. And it's on any number of topics. It's not just about Nintendo, it's about gaming in general, where they will write a piece and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with writing an opinion piece. I love opinion pieces. I love to discuss opinion pieces. I love to get into the back and forth of opinion pieces. I like that they bring up ideas that I may not have considered. My problem is when opinion pieces are written as fact, and when opinion pieces fail to look at or consider or think about any other opinions than that of the person writing it. They just are in a walled garden of their own opinion, where they think this is the way it is, this is the way it should be, and anybody else who feels any differently is wrong. That makes for a opinion piece, in my opinion, that isn't worth the time to read, because I don't want the opinion of someone who thinks what they're saying is the end all be all. I want them to uh, share their opinion with me and why they feel the way they do, but then also recognize, understand, and contemplate the other opinions that are out there, the other ways of thinking, not say, you know, Tears of the Kingdom style Zelda is bad, and here's why it's bad, and here's why that's the only way to look at things. And it's like, no. Okay, you think that that style is bad? Fine, fill me in. Don't fill it with hyperbole, and don't fill it with verbiage that's written like a fanboy or a console wars or a toxic person on the internet. Give me something that's worth reading just from a stylistic perspective. But yeah, voice your opinions and let's talk about it. Not, what I feel a lot of outlets are doing, or a good amount of outlets are doing. I can't tell you how. Hello, Laxter. Good to see you. I can't tell you how often I've seen that just in the last year alone. Obviously, this last week has really brought stuff to light too. But where it's like, what? It's like embarrassing to see that, articles on major outlets are written in ways that come across like it's something I'd read on social media or on a forum, where, like, social media and forums is free for all and anybody's crapping out anything. And I can't complain about that, because it's like there's literally no guidelines here. Like, do whatever you want to do. But on, like, a game journalism outlet or a gaming outlet, it's like, I maybe it's wrong of me to think I should expect something better or more nuanced or more well thought out or more intricate, but that's not what I'm getting. I feel like there are a decent amount of outlets where whatever I would read in some like flame post on social media is exactly what I'm getting on big name outlets, and I'm like, is this not embarrassing? But again, then I think like maybe it is written like this because it gets clicks. Now I'm sure It's both. I'm sure there are outlets where people write that way because that's just the way that they write, and I'm like, "Oh, this is like arrested development." You're like showing who you are with the approach of like a 12-year-old in the body of a 40-year-old. I'm like, "Ay, ay, ay." But then there are probably other outlets where that's the edict coming down from the top. Write in this style, write this way, write with this vitriol, write with this closed-minded approach because it gets clicks, it gets people riled up, and it gets attention. I'm sure both are the case, and both are disappointing, but at least I don't know what one's more disappointing. I guess the edict from the top is more disappointing because with the other one, there's still room for people to change. They probably won't, but there's still room at least. But the edict from the top down at an outlet, that's like sad to me. Very sad. But that's what I wrote about there. And I also, you might see how these two are connected. The next thing I wrote about on Patreon the next day was about doing something to push up the positivity. And I want to stress this toxic positivity is a thing as well too, where you're unwilling to look at whatever thing you're interested in and say that it does anything wrong or something is maybe not of the utmost quality or something rubs you the wrong way. Like again, I am a Nintendo fan, but I can certainly look at things that Nintendo does and say like I don't like that personally. I don't think they should have done this way. That's not my kind of thing because I would argue I'm a healthy fan of everything. I love Nintendo's games. I love Nintendo's works over the years, but they're not beyond criticism from me. And when I have honest criticism, I will share it. Now, I may have less criticisms than most, but that's not because I'm hiding my criticism because I'm like, oh, I can't say anything bad about Nintendo. It's because I'm just being honest. When I tell you something doesn't sit right with me, it's because that's how I really feel. And if I tell you the opposite or I don't say anything negative, that's because those are my honest feelings. So that's all that I can do for you. But um the gaming space in general, when it comes to online and online coverage, I feel is just so toxic and there's so much garbage out there where I've talked about it so much like on the podcast and in Patreon posts where I'm like, this is just disappointing and I really don't like seeing this. And I've done my thought pieces verbally or written about it, but I am at the point where I'm like, I want to do something different. Like, I want to do something about it. And it may not even be a drop in the bucket, but I want to do something. So I am going to do something. I wrote about this on Patreon. My plan is because I'm going to be honest. I don't have a lot of time to commit to something else other than Go Nintendo from a work perspective. And honestly, I don't have the energy. I really don't have the energy anymore. I am not ashamed to admit that I am an older man. I'm 20 plus years older than when I started Go Nintendo. I am feeling older. I do not have the energy to give to things anymore. I need more downtime. And that also stems from, I have a new diet. I'm exercising every single day. I have a new lifestyle now. So my energy is drained because of what I'm doing physically, what I'm doing for work, and what I'm doing as a 43-year-old man. My body's not the same. So I just don't have the energy. But I want to do something. And this is what I have the energy for. I have the energy for what I've been mulling over a newsletter, something that I could put together a couple paragraphs for. I do it every single week, once a week. Um, I put together a couple paragraphs as just like a little talk at the top, but then the bulk of it would be little blurbs and links to articles throughout the week that were about positive things that happen in gaming. Good news, like game sales milestones or developers getting hired somewhere or some guy finds a pristine copy of Punch Out and sells it for 20 grand. Like just positive, advancements in certain gaming spaces and quality of life stuff and just all that kind of stuff. There is plenty of positivity out there to find in the gaming space. And I want to do a little newsletter to draw attention to some of that. So every week, everybody could open their email once a week, or when they open their email once a week, they'd see this newsletter and they'd see maybe some of the smaller stories they didn't catch of. That's right, Nintendo. They didn't catch during the week, and I think that would be fun. And again, it's nothing major, but I think it could be nice for people looking for that kind of thing. And I think there would be an audience for that, and I think there'd be a reach for it. But I'm not doing this to be like, oh, I want to get out there in front of millions of people. GoNintendo reaches millions of people. I'm fine. I don't need any of that. My goal is just because I want to push back against the negativity in all of gaming. Again, this is not a Nintendo thing. This is all gaming. I will, in this newsletter, cover all of gaming. So I want to give it a shot. It'll probably be like a Substack thing. I don't think I'll email Rotzel. That's great. I'm not going to do like a traditional newsletter. It'll be a Substack thing. It will be free, 100%. It will be not
for $1.
It will be for $0. All you'll have to do is sign up for the Substack. That's what I'm envisioning now. Maybe things will change. Things will not change money-wise. It's going to be free no matter what, but I'm going to try it out. So what I said on Patreon is I'm going to put together in the next couple of weeks a test run of what I have in mind. I'm going to put it on Patreon just as a regular post so patrons can read through it and let me know what they think. And I'll rejigger and adjust, and then eventually I will launch it publicly. So that's my plan. And we'll see how it goes. I need to send a text 1 second. I'll text when I'm all done. Sorry, this is how it goes. This is stuff I'm doing like during regular episodes of the podcast. It's just, other people are here to keep things going. But anyway, that's the Patreon this week. There you go. Now, I'm not going to do the regular news because the news jingle yet, because we're going into the Nintendo Direct. The prophecy came true, as was foretold by the tea leaf readers. A Nintendo Direct did happen. It was on June 9th. It was a supersized Nintendo Direct, 50 plus minutes, followed by some Treehouse Live segments. It was like a good old-fashioned E3 style Nintendo Direct, and there's plenty to talk about. And that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to share thoughts along the way about everything that was discussed. Just let me take a... Hello, No Blades, No Bows. Friday pods are some of my favorite pods. Well, it's a Friday, and it's a pod. It's just me, but hopefully this puts a smile on your face, my friend. Let me take one sip of water, and then we will get into it. Okay, Nintendo Direct. We got new footage of things we already knew about. We got brand new reveals. We got stuff that's coming out this year. We got stuff that's coming out next week. We got it all. Without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to go in order of the press release that Nintendo put out, just because it's easier for me to go about that way. And they started off with one of the biggest announcements. Some people would say the biggest announcement of the Direct, and I would not push back against that. It could be considered the biggest, maybe not the biggest for others, but The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. It is being remade, as was rumored for a while now, and that's a whole thing to talk about too, the rumors and the pushback against rumors. So the trailer that we got was very... it was a teaser trailer, without a doubt. It was... Sorry, my phone was bugging out. It was just you saw like a tapestry, like a rug or a tapestry hung up on a wall that showed off the Deku tree, and then eventually you see Link sleeping in the Deku tree, and then transitions to real-time graphics, or I'm sure that's what the tapestry was too. But you get a look at young Link sleeping in his little hut or whatever you want to call it. And then you see the Triforce glow on his hand, and then we get the title, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and then we got the confirmation that's coming out in 2026. We don't know when in 2026 yet, but I would say October, November, December is a safe bet. I would say October, November is a much safer bet, but we'll find out. So, yes, this was rumored for quite some time beforehand, and the rumor turned out to be true. Nate the Hate, I would say, is the driver of this rumor. He's the one that got it out there first, or at least most notably, a while ago, and turned out to be true. Nate the Hate is usually very spot on with his leaks and rumors. And I've seen pushback against him before when it comes to rumors, as far as like people being like, don't say this stuff, don't talk about this stuff. But this time around, he really took a beating. I'm taking a drink. To say he was raked over the coals. Hey, SD, good to see you. To say that he was raked over the coals for his leaking of the Ocarina of Time remake would be a vast understatement. I saw Nate the Hate receive all kinds of really nasty comments and then literal death threats as well. I am not one that thinks you should ever send nasty comments to anyone. Call me woke, but and I'll gladly take that. But you can be angry about whatever Nate the Hate is doing. I don't think they deserve to get nasty comments about it. You can certainly respond and leave them a comment and express why you're frustrated, but not in a nasty way. I'm not going to tell somebody they're wrong to do it. I personally think they're wrong, but I'm not going to say it's just blanket wrong. I will say it is wrong to do death threats, though. I don't think that is ever warranted, and that's gross and disgusting, and I speak out against that 100%. So that's horrendous. But just to pull back a little bit from the whole conversation, there's a lot of people who are very annoyed that this was leaked beforehand because they feel they were robbed of the experience of watching the direct and getting this as a surprise reveal. And I can very much acknowledge that if we didn't know that Ocarina of Time was getting a remake for Switch 2, and we didn't know definitively, but the rumors were certainly there and it was very believable. If we didn't know that and the direct closed out with the reveal of an Ocarina of Time remake for Switch 2, that would have been a mind-boggling moment, without a doubt. Perhaps one of the greatest surprise reveals ever in Nintendo history. I really do think it would have been that big of a deal. And then you have the double whammy of it being announced, and then people, by and large, would think like, what year is this coming out? Followed by the 2026 drop. And that would have blown people's minds too. It's still crazy, even knowing that it's happening. It is still crazy to think that it is coming out this year, or to know that it's coming out this year. And without a doubt, we are getting it this year. I'm sure Nintendo is still trying to figure out exactly what week they want to do, because Grand Theft Auto is a thing. And whether Nintendo wants to adjust for that accordingly or not, I'm sure they're trying to figure out where's the sweet spot. But it is coming out this year. This game, it's not going to slip into 2027 because it is Nintendo's big holiday game. So, yeah, SD, that's a whole thing to discuss as well. Yeah, which I'm going to get into. So, yeah, a lot of people feel they were robbed of that moment and that joy and that surprise and that feeling and that experience. And I understand that. I very much do understand that, because I am huge on spoiler culture. When there is something I want to see, like a movie, or something I want to read, like a comic book, or something going on in a TV show, or any of that, I don't want it ruined for me. I went to go see the Amazing Digital Circus movie because or a finale in the movie theater, because I wanted to see it. I was very excited for it. I didn't want any of it ruined. I didn't want any of it spoiled. So I wanted to dodge that as much as I could. Now, that leaked online beforehand, but I was aware of the leak, but I actively stopped myself from going to places where I thought maybe I could have it ruined for me. And that doesn't guarantee that it still wouldn't be, because I could have gone to any of the number of places I normally go to and have it spoiled. But thankfully, it didn't get spoiled. But yes, I was dodging spoilers, and I didn't want to see that. For work stuff, I obviously don't have that luxury. It is what it is. But yeah, like if I was going to see Endgame and I had Endgame spoiled for me before I went in, yes, that would have been devastating. I would have been really disappointed. Having that experience of Endgame in the theater without knowing anything, That's one of my favorite moments in my life ever, being in that theater, experiencing that with a group of people who all didn't know what was going to happen and being able to live through that together. It was an unbelievable experience that I felt like in my mind and body. It was that amazing. I really do. It is a top 5 moment for me because I don't know if I'll ever experience anything like that again. So, I totally understand that people are upset about it. Nintendo says, "I'm just blah, 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 blah." I do agree with Naked. Do I agree with Nate getting death threats? No. Do I think his chosen profession is a blight on the industry? Absolutely. I mean, yes, there's that whole thing to discuss too. Like, Nate is obviously privy to inside information, and he's choosing to share it. And people are asking, why are you doing this? And what are you getting from it? And I think that's a valid question to ask. I don't think you should expect an answer or think you deserve an answer, but it is a valid question to ask in general. What is Nate getting from it and why does he do it? What does Nate want from it? Like, is he doing it just because he's a Nintendo fan and he knows there's a group out there who want to know everything and anything going into it? That could be it. Is there a part of him that's doing it because he has access to the information and he enjoys the notoriety and attention from it? Yes, I don't know if that's the case. I don't know what the reasoning is. I'm just putting all this out there as potentials. And that could be it. Nate maybe enjoys getting the attention and being in that place of privilege and putting that out there. Uh, there's any number of reasons. I don't know what it is. And it is shocking also that Nintendo hasn't been able to plug these leaks because this Nintendo takes this stuff very seriously, and we know that they're frustrated about it. But to know that they're frustrated and have been aware so long that it's going on and still not be able to stop it, that's really crazy to me. There's something going on behind the scenes with Nintendo, somewhere in the chain of command. I don't know how far down, but something is happening where they can't get their crap together, and it's shocking because Nintendo would be one of the last companies I would think years ago would have been one of the last companies I would think of to suffer these kind of leaks, but now it's like a regular occurrence for Nintendo. They're like at the forefront of getting things leaked, and that's so surprising to me. And to know that it's going on still, and they haven't seemed to have been able to stop it at all, mind-boggling. So I get all perspectives. I get people who want to have stuff leaked. I get people who don't want to have stuff leaked. I get people who want to keep things secret because they want to experience it as Nintendo intends to share it. I get it all. And I very much understand the frustration of people who are actively dodging spoilers and rumors, but end up getting hit with stuff anyway because they're on this site or they're on this social media platform or they're on this YouTube video. And, you could be on this YouTube video that you're watching Reckless Ben's video about all the Lego stuff, and you have your suggestions on the right hand side. And maybe your eyes glimpse over on the right hand side and it says, Ocarina of Time Remake Switch 2 rumor. And you're like, son of a bitch. I didn't want to hear that, whether you think it to be true or not. That's in your head now, and you can't get away from it. So there are times when you just can't escape it, no matter how much you do. And there has to be some give and take for these people. Like, there are the fans who want to see these leaks who are saying, be careful where you go online. And to a degree, yes, I agree with that. But also, there's the other side where you have to say, you can't expect these people to just completely stop all of their online activity everywhere because they don't want to have a direct spoiled. And, they don't know when these leaks are going to come out. So what are they supposed to do? 2 months ahead of time when they think a direct might happen, it's like, well, cold turkey, no internet, or I'm not going to these 20 different sites. I'm not watching YouTube videos. I like, you can't do that. And it's very, very, very difficult to find that middle ground because you could go like, I'm not going to follow these accounts and I'm not going to go to this forum to potentially protect myself from getting leaks. But that doesn't mean you're still going to stop yourself from getting these leaks because they are reported all over the place. I'm part of the problem too. I really try to prevent our stories from our posts. I don't even like saying stories. Our posts from going on platforms and revealing these things in the titles. So at the very least, you have to click on them to see what's up. I can do a better job. I will do a better job going forward. I am going to report on these things because I feel they're important, and there is an audience there that I want to serve. I want to serve all Nintendo fans, not just A, not just B, not just C. I want A through Z. I want to serve them all. So I will continue to post about that stuff, but I can do a better job of in my titles making it so that things aren't spoiled or seemingly spoiled. Like, when it comes to an Ocarina of Time remake, I could do a much better job with titles where it's like rumor concerning remake of a top tier Nintendo franchise services. Something, I'm just spitballing right now. I would put something together better than that. But something where I get the general idea of what's going on out there through the title, but you have to click in there to find out what it is. So that means you and I have a contract basically where it's like, I'm talking about a rumor. You can have something spoiled. You have clicked the article. So now you have taken the bet of, I want to see what it is, and I'm okay with that. So I will do a better job going forward. Certainly. I, in the past, have tried to do a good job, but I can always do better. So I will try that. I will try because I don't want to spoil things for people unless they are committed to having them potentially spoiled. So that's my commitment to you guys going forward. We'll see what happens. Taking a drink. But I get all sides. I get the people that want every leak and every rumor. I get the people who do not want that. And personally, as I said, I am someone who does not want stuff spoiled. But that's not an all the time thing. There's certain things I do want spoiled and certain things I don't. Like there's been Spider-Man, what's the name of the new movie? Brand New Day trailer leaks. I'm all about that. I want to read all of that. I don't care. There's just something about that where my desire to know every little tidbit supersedes my desire to not have things spoiled and go into the theater for a fresh experience. Now there may be a line that I draw at some point where I'm like, no, I don't want to know that much. But right now I'm like, yeah, give it all to me. But with other video games and stuff, I can't do it with Nintendo because I'm covering Nintendo. But with like any other number of companies, when they're teasing things or they're going to tease things, I'm like, no, I don't want to see it. I want to have it organically come to me so I can enjoy that experience. So it differs. And I think that's the case for everybody. It differs between all different things, all the things you're into, whatever entertainment properties they are, Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft and Marvel and DC and Disney in general and Doctor Who and Widow's Bay. Widow's Bay is really popular right now and deservedly so. What a great show. But people don't want to hear anything about the hello there, Malakalo. People don't want to hear anything about the last episode, and they're trying to keep things secret and avoid any discussion out there, whatever. So I get it all. But I have made my pledge to do better going forward, and that is what I will try to do. I said I had topics or thoughts to share on topics about remakes in general, because my opinion has evolved and changed. And I will get into that. I just want to go through some more of the direct stuff. I don't want to use Ocarina of Time as the impetus for all that and then get to all the other stuff. So we'll keep going through the direct and I'll circle back to that. I promise. What's next? Now, this is another absolutely massive thing. In my opinion, I'm of the opinion that this is even bigger than Ocarina of Time because of what it means, and I'll get into that. During a section, it's going to either say segment or section. During a section of the Nintendo Direct, we saw that Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3 are going to switch to as native ports. We had them on the Switch as cloud versions. Those have now been delisted, but Switch 2 native ports are coming out October 8th. The original Switch is getting, I think, Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2 native ports, but I don't believe Kingdom Hearts 3. Don't quote me on that. There's something about native ports to the original Switch as well. But Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3 are getting native ports to Switch 2. They come out October 8th. You can get them individually or as part of a collection, digital or physical. I think physical. Maybe that's not right either. But there's a collection. So that was revealed. And then the screen went black. And it came back. And son of a gun, we got Kingdom Hearts 4. The footage came up. And I like Kingdom Hearts. I need to play some of the other games. I haven't played main. I never finished 2. Didn't touch 3. I want to change that, and I plan on changing it. And Switch 2 will be the way for me to do it. But I know Kingdom Hearts when I see it. I know what it looks like. So Kingdom Hearts 4 came up before it was confirmed that it was Kingdom Hearts 4. But you see your hooded figure, and I was like, "This is Kingdom Hearts 4." I was like, "Oh my god." This is a crazy reveal. By the way, 2 reveals during this Nintendo Direct made me cry. If you'd like to guess, enter your guesses in the Discord right now, or play along at home if you're listening afterwards and see if you're right. I will tell you this hint. Kingdom Hearts 4 and Ocarina of Time did not make me cry. So 2 other games. And I will keep an eye on the Discord to see if other people guess the games. And I'm not going to say it until after I'm done. But anyway, Kingdom Hearts 4 revealed, Switch 2, and Square Enix confirmed that it will be out day and date with other platforms. So Xbox Series X and S, PC, you would imagine, and PlayStation 5. So, boy, that's an announcement. Also, this trailer wasn't just the same trailer that people got 4 years ago. It was a trailer that showed gameplay, first time gameplay, I believe. So there you go. This is, in my opinion, the biggest announcement. Laughing at Discord. The biggest announcement of the Nintendo Direct because of how much it speaks to where Nintendo is at right now with the Switch 2 and what Nintendo is trying to do and their relationship with third parties. This, again, in my opinion, is crazy. Let's think about this. Kingdom Hearts 4 going to Switch 2. Huge news in general. Great to see. Wonderful, fantastic, lovely. With all the Square Enix support we're seeing for Switch 2 so far, not entirely surprising that Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to Switch 2. Not entirely surprising, but still very nice to see. So there's that. But let's look at this, really. Square Enix has said that they are, in recent months, they're like, we got to take more, or we want to take more of a multi-platform approach, which is great because that means more Square Enix games for Nintendo fans and Xbox fans. Wonderful. I'm not including Sony because that's where the bulk of stuff was, and it will still be there. But great to see. That's a lovely commitment, and we've seen them already acting on that in major ways. Couldn't ask for anything more. Beautiful. But to reveal or to re-reveal Kingdom Hearts 4, because remember, we haven't seen anything of this game in 4 years. People are like, where is it? What's going on? 4 long years. And we get our reveal of Kingdom Hearts 4 in a Nintendo Direct. That is not anything I would have ever thought would happen. To be frank, it's not something that would have been possible during the Switch era because the Switch can't handle Kingdom Hearts 4 without major rejiggering of the whole experience. But Switch 2 can do it. To get that reveal in a Nintendo Direct is mind-blowing to a degree that I would have never guessed. That is a showing of faith from Square Enix in Nintendo. That is a showing of commitment from Square Enix to Nintendo, and a showing of the relationship between Square Enix and Nintendo, and more proof of Square Enix's commitment to going multi-platform. I'm not just saying this is a Nintendo thing. We could get a major Square Enix reveal from the next Xbox presentation, but that's where I want to really point things out here because that makes this next thing I'm going to say takes things to the next level. This was Summer Game Fest time. We had Summer Game Fest, a whole bunch of other announcements, or a whole bunch of other presentations, and we had the Mom Brain's texting me, sorry. Then we had the Sony State of Play, and we had the Xbox Showcase. Game Fest, Sony State of Play, Xbox Showcase. None of those had Kingdom Hearts 4. Kingdom Hearts 4 was saved for a Nintendo Direct. That, in my opinion, from everything that it indicates and is indicative of and shows, regardless of the game itself or outside of the game itself, which is very exciting, that's an announcement of staggering proportions to me. That's just nuts. I cannot believe that Kingdom Hearts 4 was reintroduced to everybody through a Nintendo Direct. As a Nintendo fan, not as someone who covers Nintendo professionally, as a Nintendo fan, the pride that I feel, the fanboy heart pride that I feel could make me cry. I could feel myself right now on the verge of tears about it because it is something that I thought what is an era of Nintendo that has long gone by. We weren't obviously getting presentations back in the Super Nintendo days about this kind of stuff, but the Super Nintendo days were the glory days for third parties when it came to Nintendo. Like that was, every third party or the vast majority of third parties was on Nintendo, and it was like banger after banger. Then the N64 era hit and things did not go that way. And it's been like the third parties eventually were like, oh, we don't know about Nintendo. Obviously, during the Wii era, it was very good. I would say very, very good. The DS was fantastic with third party support. Maybe even to a larger degree, better than the Wii. 3DS was fine. Wii U was, let's not talk about the Wii U. Switch, I would say, in some ways better than Wii and DS. Certainly improved relationships with third parties. Fantastic. But Switch 2, the third party efforts we're getting. This sounds so stupid to say, but somebody who's been a lifelong Nintendo fan and seen the whole thing, to see the kind of third-party stuff we are getting for Switch 2, it's like saying or seeing third parties go, yeah, Nintendo is another platform and our game should be there, which is so stupid to say in a game industry. I get they didn't do it with other platforms like the Switch or the Wii because they weren't as powerful as the competitors' platforms at that time. The Wii's not as powerful as the 360 or the PS3. The Switch isn't as powerful as PS4, Xbox, whatever it was called. Xbox One X and S. I get it. The gap is bigger. But with Switch 2, there's still a gap, but it's a manageable gap. And to see third parties be like, yeah, we can do this and we will do this. It could honestly, from a fan perspective, bring a tear to my eye because it's like, holy crap, they are finally acknowledging and recognizing Nintendo as they used to back in the Super Nintendo days. And I'm not saying Nintendo didn't make moves back in those days from the Super Nintendo to the N64 that didn't warrant or justify third parties moving away. Nintendo made there were certainly mistakes, but Nintendo made a lot of decisions that also pushed third parties away as well, like cartridges versus CDs and stuff like that. And other things that happened. Nintendo had missteps and mistakes that made third parties step back. And there's other things where I think third parties were unfairly not working with Nintendo. But there's both fair and unfair. I see it all. But again, to see where we're at with Switch 2 has been beautiful. I can't believe it, really. I can't believe it. And I can only hope it continues on that way. But this Kingdom Hearts 4 reveal, crazy. One of the craziest things I've seen in a very, very, very long time related to Nintendo. Like, I sincerely mean that. And that's an all-encompassing viewpoint of Nintendo. Not just a game announcement, not just a partnership announcement, not just a reveal. All of it together and what it really means and what it shows from a full picture of Nintendo, man. Hard to match that one, in my opinion. And that's that. So now I got to play Kingdom Hearts 2. I really should just replay 1. Like, I think I remember a lot about 1, but maybe I don't. 2 I need to finish. 3 I need to play for the first time. And prepare for 4. Maybe 4 will be 2027. That seems feasible, right? Who knows? But Switch 2 is getting it, and that's all that matters to me. By the way, I'm taking a sip. On Switch 2, there's a demo of Kingdom Hearts 3 right now. Or as I guess I should say, Kingdom Hearts 3 plus Remind, because we can all agree these Kingdom Hearts games have the most normal, easy to remember, pronounce, and understand subtitles of any franchise ever. Do your thoughts? No thoughts. I wish he was here, because this is the time to go off on game names. But we'll be talking about these games more in the future, so I'll have plenty of opportunities. Moving on. We also got the reveal of Nintendo Switch Sports Resort, which is coming to Switch 2 October 22nd. We have 12 sports this time around. We got boxing, table tennis, archery, tennis, volleyball, bowling, basketball, golf, and thumb wrestling. Is that 12? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Skateboarding 10, power cruising 11, prop plane 12. There you go. SD, I did not cry when I saw archery, but the way archery hit me, ooh, okay. So here's another story. I get this guy every once in a while on TikTok who, okay, he's a streamer. It seems like he plays a lot of sports related games, but he also plays Mario Party. But he plays like the Nintendo sports titles. Or he plays like, I don't want non-simulation sports titles. He plays like backyard baseball and stuff like that. He's a streamer. He wears a sweatband. He gets really into the games and he tries to get perfect times, scores, point values, whatever, in these games. And I see him often playing Wii Sports Resort. And he's playing archery, or he's playing other games in Wii Sports Resort. Or he's done, Wii Sports Bowling and stuff like that. And watching him, I'm like, man, I really miss that era of Nintendo. I really miss, like, I don't want to, I know there's negative connotations when you say minigame, but, I don't mean it in a bad way. Like those minigame compilations that were fleshed out a little bit more, where you could return to play time and time again, to just, they were just fun, just simple, pure fun. I just really liked that era. And other stuff on the Wii as well, or even the Wii U, like, Wii Play and Wii Party and Wii Party U. Like, I just missed that whole era and vibe because it was just like simple, straightforward fun. And I feel like we've lost that in general in gaming to some degree. Not fully, but to some degree. And Nintendo, I feel like, has moved away from that. And I just really miss that. And I've been feeling, I don't want to say nostalgic, but it is nostalgia. That's part of it. But I've just been feeling so deeply that I want to have that experience again. And when Nintendo Switch Sports Resort was announced, I was like, yes, it's exactly what I want, really. Now, I will say, skateboarding looked like fun, but I feel like I'd mess around with it for a little bit. Power cruising, I think I could get into because it's wave race-esque. Prop plane would be fun just to fly around and explore. I'm down with that. I like Pilot Wings, so yeah, I'm cool with that. But if we're really talking about it, I'm going to go to tennis. I'm going to go to bowling a ton. I'm going to go to golf without a doubt. And I'm going to go to archery. I want archery. So between the 4 that I'm really going to play and the others that I'll mess around with a little bit, and then the others that I'll probably touch once or twice, and that's it. I really want it. I really want in on that. I miss it. I want it. I want to go back to it, and I want to just have those fun experiences. And based on the screenshots that Nintendo released, what was I going to say? Sorry. Based on the screenshots that Nintendo released, it looks like the hidden fruit are in archery. And I love archery in general, but when you put that hidden stuff in there, that's what I really want. And there is at least one screenshot, or off in the distance, you can see a melon back there. So, ooh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm so ridiculously excited to play that. And yeah, Roth is talking about Sword, Chambara, and Baseball could be added later. Yeah, this is one of those games where you can add in DLC later, no problem. So, there you go. SD, the perfect melon. That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'm like pumped for this. And I brought this up during a discussion of during a discussion in FortNite with friends just about coverage in general for the direct. And I found out that my one friend still to this day plays Wii Sports Resort with a friend when they come over. He's got one friend that visits and they fire up Wii Sports Resort and go at it in any number of the games there. So I was like, that's really cool. I did not know that about you. So the Nintendo fans, some of the Nintendo fans yearn for that experience still, and I feel like Nintendo sees that there's an opportunity there, so they're going for it. Hello, Ice Gilbert, good to see you. So yeah, 5 years ago I would have been like, oh, that's nice, but I don't care. Now, where I'm at now and what I want now, I'm like, yes, I'm like really like amped for it. I'm to tell you the truth, the trailer had me very excited, and then they said October 22nd. I was like, oh, can't we have it sooner? Feel like that'd be so much fun to play in the summer, but I'll play it whenever it comes out, so I'm very excited for that. We got another look at the Duskbloods. We got new footage of it, which was nice. We honestly got less of it than I thought we would, but whatever. Duskbloods, according to Nintendo's press release, is still set for a launch in 2026 on Switch 2, exclusive 2026 Switch 2. And we did learn that there's a closed network test that's coming sometime in the summer. So if there's a network test in the summer, that would lead you to believe that we're not getting the game in the summer. So that could be September, October, November, December. I know part of September is summer, but September, October, November, December. Which one will it be? Place your bets. October would be a nice one because thematically it fits in with Halloween spooky stuff. But I don't know. We'll find out together. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition Switch 2 Edition was announced and is out right now. 4K resolution, 60 frames per second. New features like a high-speed vehicle for traversing the game's vast areas, new racing modes that let you earn in-game rewards, and new equipment designs. New voiceover added to the game's heart-to-heart scenes. There's also an upgrade pack for players who already bought the Definitive Edition on Switch. So again, you can get that right now. Nintendo also announced that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 are coming out on Switch 2 this year as well. 2 is on July 30th. 3 is on December 3rd. Physical versions will be released. Physical versions will be released as such. Xenoblade Chronicles 1 on July 30th. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on October 1st. And Xenoblade Chronicles 3 on December 3rd. There you go. But the real showstopper was the reveal of the next Xenoblade game. And it is not a Chronicles title. Xenoblade Genesis was revealed with a new art style to some degree. Whole new world as far as we know, but it still looks like it has that grand scope and scale to it. And it's coming to Switch 2 in 2027. Now, those games I'd play, Talshow put an image in the Discord that says Xenoblade Genesis, Xenoblade CD, and Xenoblade 32X. I'd be partial to CD, but that's just my nostalgia speaking. But yes, we got we got a brand new reveal of the next Xenoblade game. And from what I've seen, fans are very excited. Taking a sip. Okay. Pokemon Pokopia is getting a free update in August that lets you traverse under the water and explore the ocean floor using the new move Dive to plant grass, build structures, and create your own underwater towns. Along with that came the reveal of the Pokopia Expansion Pass, which is paid DLC. Part 1 of the paid DLC will introduce Bubbly Basin, a whole new town. And that comes out August. Town filled with new furniture, outfits, and Pokemon friends. And then there's two other parts to the Pokopia expansion pass that will release later and weren't even detailed. So we'll have to wait until later to find out what it includes. A Switch 2 upgrade for Minecraft was revealed finally. This features the Vibrant Visuals graphics upgrade, as well as the Super Mario Mashup Pack. 15 tracks and 40 player skins tied to Mario. So, it's an overhaul for Switch 2 that will run better and look better, which is not mind-blowing, but still very nice. We got another look at Orbitals, which is one of my most anticipated, not Switch 2 games, but games in general. And we got a release date finally, not as soon as I wanted to see it, but September 3rd. Got a release date, September 3rd. So pumped for that game. That is the anime co-op adventure. That could not be any more up my alley. Rotsol, I'm not going to say what game you mentioned. Discord can read it if they want, because I don't want to spoil. But no, that is not one of the games that made me cry. I do like Minecraft, though. This is one I've been waiting for, because I'm like, come on, Capcom. You know you're doing it. We all know you're doing it. Just when are you going to announce it? And they saved it for a Nintendo Direct, which is nice. We got confirmation that Onimusha, Way of the Sword, the brand new Onimusha game, is coming to Switch 2. And yes, day and date with all other versions. Capcom, Square Enix is wonderful when it comes to Switch 2. Phenomenal, amazing, fantastic, lovely, worthy of all kinds of praise. But in my opinion, Capcom gets a little bit more tip of the hat. So yeah, Onimusha, Way of the Sword is coming Switch 2, day and date with other systems, September 25th. There you go. We don't have the demo yet. Other platforms have the demo. I don't know if we're getting the demo, but still. Onimusha, Way of the Sword coming to Switch 2, same day as other platforms. That is where I will be buying the game. Very cool to see. Got a new look at Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave coming out on September 17th. Discover an intertwining story of strength and steel alongside 4 new heroes. Kai, a young boy determined to save his imprisoned father. Dietrich, a swordsman ever on the hunt for a stronger foe. Theodora, a queen seeking to fulfill the long-held dream of her homeland. And finally, Leda, a musician, or Leda, who sets her sights on revenge. September 17th. If I didn't suck at Fire Emblem, I'd be very excited for this. Am I still going to try it? Yes, because I'm an idiot and I won't be good at it, but I still want to try and I still want to be good. So I'll be there. We got the reveal of the DK Challenge. If you follow GoNintendo recently, before the Direct, you would have known about the DK Challenge, because we got data miner details on this happening. We didn't know all the specifics, but we knew some of the details, and we even got a look at the digital cards, and then Nintendo confirmed it, and now it is available. If you have a Switch 2, you can now participate in the DK Challenge. This is a limited time thing. Limited time event celebrating all things Donkey Kong, and it sticks around until September 1st. Take on challenges across several NES, Super Nintendo, and Game Boy games featuring Donkey Kong, through Nintendo Classics, obviously. By completing them, you earn and enjoy Don't tell me what to enjoy. Earn and enjoy collectible digital challenge cards. And if you have Donkey Kong Bonanza, there's a whole set of challenges for those as well. So a nice little thing to get in there and collect some digital cards. What do you do with those digital cards? I don't know. Be proud of them in your heart. It's not like you can display them on a shelf, but it's still nice to have. I'm not poo-pooing it. Just, it's like, I collected all these digital cards. Oh, really? Show them to me. Okay, well, now let me turn on my Switch 2 and go to the app and show. Like, I don't know. I wish I could have like a deck of them. It's like, oh, yeah, or like Nintendo. I wish Nintendo would make a website where it's like your Nintendo account is tied into it and it knows how many digital cards you got. And now you have access to versions you could print out. That would be cool. That would be cool, Nintendo. And again, it doesn't mean anything, but it would be kind of cool to be like, I got these cards and now I could print them out and I could put them in a little binder and keep them. Just a little stupid fun. I'm sure some fans will do that as well. Oh, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Paid DLC will receive more limited time content, a collaboration with Super Mario Brothers. The event will be held in 4 waves. The first part is out now. Players who have beaten the main game and purchased the DLC can enjoy new outfits for Donkey Kong and Pauline, inspired by Mario Luigi, plus question mark blocks, super mushrooms, and more. There you go. Oh, banana. That's right. And when I say that to myself way too often. One of my personal favorite moments of the Direct. Deltarune Chapter 5 was announced. Oh, Deltarune Chapter 5. Like, after the Nintendo Direct was announced, in my brain, I was like, this could be a Deltarune moment. We had Deltarune moments for chapters 1 and 2, chapters 3 and 4. I was like, this could be a Deltarune moment for chapter 5. As he says, hands where we can see him, RMC. There you go. I was playing with my Play-Doh, not myself. But I was like, Nintendo Direct, it could have a Deltarune moment. I was like, I don't know. Last year, this time, we got Deltarune chapters 3 and 4. I was like, could we really have chapter 5 in a year's time turnaround with everything? I'm like, considering development and writing and graphics and localization and all that, I'm like, is a year's time enough of a turnaround? Obviously, work but on chapter 5 began before chapters 3 and 4 came out, but I'm like, is there enough turnaround time to get a whole new chapter out there? I was like, I don't know. Hey, Darmani, good to see you. And I was on TikTok, and TikTok, my For You page was filled with people being like, Nintendo Direct, Deltarune, please let this happen. Please let this be the time that we get more Deltarune. And everybody's like, I want another Deltarune summer. We had a Deltarune summer last year. Let's do Deltarune summer again. I was like, I want it. And it's funny because I played the new chapters 3 and 4 as soon as they came out. And then when I went on family vacation to the Outer Banks, my cousins were playing the new chapters while we were in the Outer Banks, and I was watching them play on the TV, and it was such an awesome experience. I just loved it. And now I will get to have that again. Deltarune Chapter 5 is coming out this summer. It's coming out June 24th. And it sounds terrible to be like, not as soon as I would like, because the Direct was on the 9th. And I'm like, how about now? How about the 10th, maybe? So to have to wait until the 24th, which is 12 days from now, I'm like, ugh. But, I'm fine. Do I hate it? Yes. But I'm fine. But so great to see. So if you've played the other chapters, be prepared for Chapter 5 on June 24th. Also, you have enough time to go through chapters 1 through 4 and prepare yourself for Chapter 5. And I'll be there day and date. And I know I'm going to play it all in one sitting because I can't help myself. Oh, so excited. I will say. So I'm covering the Direct for work, and it's like we have the Discord, or I have the Discord open, and we have a room with just me and Quence and JM. And it's like, I'm covering this. And then I type, you're covering this. And then I type, you're covering this. And I'm doing socials, and I'm watching a stream. It's a lot. It's a lot. But in the back of my mind the whole time, I'm like, come on, Deltarune. Where's Deltarune? Give me Deltarune. And we got pretty late in the Direct. And it's really funny, honestly. We got to a point that was so late in the Direct where I said in my head, Deltarune's not happening. We're too late. And then the next thing was Deltarune. So power of negative thinking, people. So there you go. Deltarune Chapter 5. You're right. That Play-Doh was squeezed pretty hard when Deltarune showed up. We also got the more footage of Dragon Quest Monsters, the Withered World. We recently learned that was a game in existence through a Dragon Quest Day announcement. And now we know it's coming to Switch and Switch 2 on December 3rd. I played one of the Dragon Quest Monsters games, and I actually liked it. So I might check this one out. Do I have time for any of these games? No, but I want to play everything. Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen was announced for Switch 2. Capcom showing more support. We got Dragon's Dogma on the original Switch, but now you can get the sequel on Switch 2 October 9th. And this was announced alongside a new area, the land of Norgan, or Norgan, a pale and icy region with rare and powerful spoils which can be discovered through exploration and retrieved by battling ferocious monsters that are beyond human comprehension. Yet somehow the developers at Capcom came up with them. I'm taking a drink. So Capcom showing even more love to Switch 2 and Nintendo on October 9th. The Nintendo Direct opened with a segment for Rhythm Heaven Groove, one of my most anticipated games. Huge Rhythm Heaven fan. I don't get you tell me new Rhythm Heaven, I'm there. I don't care. I don't need to see anything more. You just tell me new Rhythm Heaven, I'm like, yep, day one, there. I don't care. I don't need to see. I don't need to know. It's really funny. A social media post about Rhythm Heaven just popped up right now. But do I like seeing more? Sure. And I will tell you that we got a look at some of the multiplayer stuff and some of the unique things that are in there. And I'm like, wow, they're like really doing it up for this one. They're going, I think, considerably above and beyond, especially in terms of the multiplayer content. So we saw, let's see what it says. No. Gather up to 4 players around a single system to slice arrows, pluck hair from onions, and more. There's also an unlockable mode called Beat Spell. Use the magical power of rhythm to cast spells to defeat monsters. It's like a dungeon crawler RPG that you play with rhythm-based commands. I cannot tell you how over the moon I was for that. I really liked that. It's not anything I would have ever expected for Rhythm Heaven, but boy, I'm down with it. That looks so exciting. And the multiplayer rhythm games that they showed look like a blast. As SD says, the one with the cake made them laugh. Yes, we got to see the cake one where 4 people are sitting around a table ready to dig into a piece of cake, but only one can get the cake. And you have to press the button at the exact time that you're supposed to press it. And whoever's fastest or closest to that time wins the piece of cake, again, based on rhythm. We got to see that during Treehouse Live as well. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I played the multiplayer stuff in Rhythm Heaven Fever on Wii with some friends. I remember that being 2-player. I don't remember there being 4-player, and if there was, I didn't do it 4-player. But having 4-player stuff here, oh, it just looks great. Really looks like this looks like it could be the best entry in the franchise. And our friend, your GoNintendo friend Quence, got a chance to play Rhythm Heaven Groove. They went hands-on with it because Nintendo invited us to an event, which was wonderful of them. And you can go read their feature on GoNintendo's front page right now. So thank you to Quence for putting that together, and thank you to Nintendo for inviting us to that. That was awesome. So yes, very excited, and that's right around the corner, July 2nd. We are less than a month out from that, people. Yes, my Chronic put a gif of Owen Don, Elite Beat Agents in the Discord because they're obviously saying it's time for that to come back, and I agree. I would like more of that too. Splatoon Raiders was shown. That's right around the corner. Even more around the corner. Rhythm Heaven Groove is July 2nd. Splatoon Raiders is June 23rd. Is that right? Is that right? Is that right? No, hold on. July 23rd. Sorry, July 23rd. It's further out. Damn it. I got myself excited and then I was wrong. July 23rd. There's a Splatoon Raiders Direct coming on June 30th that will show us even more. Again, Splatoon, I don't care. You show me anything Splatoon, you tell me more Splatoon is coming, I'm there day and date. I am someone who is particularly fond of the single player content in Splatoon, so I'm head over heels for this. I'm more excited for this than I am a regular Splatoon game. So I can't wait. Plus, this has whatever the mode is in the last one where you go work for that guy and it's like horde waves and you get the eggs in the bucket. I'm talking about it like I hate it, but I love it. That seems like that's the basis for this single player game, and I'm all about that. But you can bring in 3 friends, so I'm really, really, really excited for this. I really want to play this bad. And I love Splatoon's music too, and everything I've heard in the trailer. Salmon Run, thank you, Rotzel. But the music I've heard in the trailer, I love it. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Again, to be clear, July 23rd, that is coming out. Star Fox, we got more of that. That is much closer than the others. That is June 25th. There's a demo out right now. We got more footage of it, but we know what's going on there. June 25th, game comes out. Demo is available. And I will have impressions of that demo to share later in this podcast. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh. The people that made Untitled Goose Game. House is the name of the developer. They've been working on Big Walk for 6 years. When I first saw Big Walk announced in some PlayStation event, I believe, I was like, well, this looks like one of the best games I've ever seen in my entire life. I've been waiting so impatiently for this game. And ever since the Switch 2 was announced, goodbye, Nintendo. Have a great weekend. Thanks for stopping by. Bye. Thanks for stopping by. Ever since the Switch 2 was announced, I was like, House, please bring us Big Walk. I was like, I know it probably can't work on the Switch, but please bring us Big Walk on Switch 2. I want it so bad. I was like, they got to be Nintendo fans. Untitled Goose Game was on Switch. I'm hoping Nintendo behind the scenes is talking to them and being like, hey, guys, your game seems like a good fit for Switch 2. Well, apparently that was the case, and they were doing that. Because we didn't know the release date for Big Walk yet, and we found it out here because it's launching day and date on Switch 2 with everything else, August 4th. Big Walk is one of my most anticipated games. The joy with which I feel inside imagining playing this with my friends is off the charts. A game where you wander around and BS and you can get lost and you have to work together to solve puzzles, and it's filled with mysteries and plenty of opportunities for silly, stupid stuff. Oh, this is like, when I talk about perfect games for me, there are perfect games in so many different genres. I don't know what you want to call Big Walk's genre. I'm not calling it friend slop because I hate that term. But whatever you consider Big Walk, this is a perfect game for me. I want to play this so bad. Its style, its heart, its presentation, its mechanics, its mystery, its sound design, it's everything about it. Its whimsy. Off the charts excited. And when it was announced for Switch 2, the sigh that I let out of relief was enough to blow the keyboard away in front of me. God, could not be happier that this is coming to Switch 2. And again, day and date with PlayStation 5 and PC. Day one. I am wishing away this summer to get to Big Walk. Want it incredibly bad. It's a walk 'em up. Yes, it's a walk 'em up, Nightwind. You're right. That's wonderful. A walk 'em up. That's so good. We also got confirmation of Devil May Cry 5 Devil Hunter Edition. This is a game that we knew about because a ratings board put out the rating before it was announced. Parents play Big Walk. Hey, Steve, there is ever a game to bring back Big Walk 4. I could record it locally and do a game share and play it with my mom. And I could have my sister join in too. As far as my dad being there, probably not the best for actual gameplay, but he could be sitting with my mom talking and we could hear him. There's something to that. SD. But yes, through a ratings board leak, we found out that Devil May Cry Devil Hunter Edition was coming to Switch 2, and now we got confirmation. Coming out June 23rd. 60 frames per second in both TV and handheld. Includes all the downloadable content. So if you haven't played that yet, now you can get it on Switch 2, perhaps. A very fun, exciting reveal was Final Fantasy Resonance. Brand new HD 2D Final Fantasy adventure. I know they're saying brand new, and I get it. But I don't think it's fair to say completely brand new because it's a complete reworking of Final Fantasy Brave. Oh boy, Exvius, I think is the name, which is a mobile game that was shut down in 2024. But I also want to stress they've like really overhauled and reworked this to be a more traditional Final Fantasy experience, especially when it comes to the old school sense. So modern day mainline Final Fantasy games are very action heavy. There's RPG elements to them, sure, but they're not RPGs turn based like they used to be. But that's what Final Fantasy Resonance is. So if you are a Final Fantasy fan who's like, I miss the old days of Final Fantasy, I want turn based battles, damn it. And even if you're like, I want them to look like they used to, then this is your go to. I'm like, I'm a few years new to the RPG genre in general. So I'm like really pumped for this. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get like a Final Fantasy game day one. It looks gorgeous. I like that it's turn based. It looks great. It looks great. October 22nd on Switch and Switch 2. So look forward to that. There is a physical release if you want. This was a cool announcement. So, Punkle, the developer of Vampire Survivors, revealed that like they are working with a whole bunch of teams and people and studios to adapt certain IP and properties into games that would work well within the Vampire Survivors genre. So we knew that was happening, but now we got the first reveal of what one of those projects will be. And it is Jujutsu Kaisen Rumble Survivation. So it's a crossover, or this is a brand new game, by the way. This is not DLC for Vampire Survivors. A Survivors Royale action game set in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen. Players battle wave after wave of cursed spirits while competing against up to 7 rivals in fast-paced online multiplayer matches. You can also play this against the computer if you'd rather do that. Choose from 20 playable characters from the JJK universe and use simple movement-based controls with automatic attacks where success depends on strategic positioning and timing. Players earn points by defeating enemies, unlock game-changing rule additions every 100 points, and compete for the top spot in dynamic rankings. It's such a cool system because it shows that this isn't just like, JJK Vampire Survivors, we'll do whatever. It's actively working in the way that JJK works from a story perspective into the gameplay experience, because JJK in the anime right now is following the Culling game, which is a game where you earn 100 points by defeating other people, other sorcerers, and those points add up. And when you get 100 points, you can add a new rule to the game. And that's how it's playing out in, what's this called? Jujutsu Kaisen Rumble Survivation. I think that's so smart and so cool that it's making the Culling game a real mechanic for players to enjoy. I love it. I love it. Another reveal I loved. Pikuniku 2. I loved Pikuniku. And we're getting a sequel out of nowhere, and it's 3D. An all-new weird 3D puzzle exploration adventure, Pikuniku 2, promises an experience filled with whimsy. Wander, solve, and gossip your way through a charming and colorful world where not everything is as happy as it seems. Go look at the trailer for this. Oh my God, it looks so great. I just love Devolver Digital's games in general, but Pikuniku getting a sequel and it's 3D. I love it. Unfortunately, all we got was a Switch 2 release date in 2027. So who the hell knows when in 2027? I would love it sooner, but I want all games sooner. So I'll just be happy that it exists. We got another look at Rayman Legends Retold. We've talked a lot about that recently, so we don't need to go into that. October 1st. There we go. Roth, thank you for the gift. I appreciate any Pikuniku love. We got the reveal of Ninjala 2, the Uncharted Planet. This looks like it's like a single-player focused Ninjala game, or Ninjala, however I'm supposed to say it. Whereas the one that's out now is online multiplayer based. This is an open world single-player experience, it looks to be. The first chapter of a 2-part saga where the protagonist is hurtled to an unknown world after breaking a forbidden seal. It's coming to Switch 2 in spring 2027. Exclusively for Switch 2 spring 2027. So it brings over the moves and mechanics of what you can play now in the Switch game, but makes them an experience where you're playing against, where it's a more traditional game against the computer and out for exploration and adventure. I liked the ideas and mechanics of Ninjala, but I didn't like the rock, paper, scissors battle mechanics for online multiplayer. So for this, when I'm like playing a single player game, this looks like I'd be more into it. So I'm down to give it a shot. We don't know if it's going to be free or anything like the other one was, but more to learn. Spring 2027. Lies of P, which was rumored for Switch 2, got confirmed. This is Lies of P Complete Edition optimized for Switch 2. Includes the prequel expansion as well, which is Lies of P Overture. Launches Switch 2 August 6th, 2026. So something you'll be able to enjoy later this summer. We got the reveal of One Piece, not the only anime game, JJK. One Piece Grand Gourmet comes to Switch 2 and Switch on October 23rd. A casual restaurant management sim set in the world of One Piece. It has Joy-Con 2 mouse controls if you're playing on Switch 2, with more than 400 characters from the One Piece series. So if you're a One Piece fan, you'll have plenty of content to enjoy. Look forward to every service bringing new surprises and warmth to fans of the franchise. Again, October 23rd. Hello Kitty Party Land is coming to Switch 2 and Switch on October 29th. All I care about is Pom Pom Porn. This has 140 Sanrio characters with 16 fan favorite partners available to accompany players. Is Pom Pom Porn in it? I don't know because I didn't have a chance to look. But if he's not in it, I don't want to play it. I need that beret. I need that yellow dog. I need that butthole. You heard me. I'm not changing what I said. We got the reveal of Muramasa Revenant Blades. Thank you, SD. Thank you. They confirmed that Pom Pom Porn is in it. Muramasa Revenant Blades. When this popped up, I was like, oh, this is surprising. This is, as you might remember, Muramasa the Demon Blade came out on the Wii years ago. This is a revamp of that. This features newly added English voice acting, new game modes, 4K art, revamped localization, expanded language support, and more. This is coming to Switch 2 and Switch in early 2027. Podcast historians may remember that I bought Muramasa on the Wii and was playing it, and Do wanted to try it one day, and he went to play it, and this was a different Do when he was not as open to game experiences, and he tried it and got annoyed and just buzzed through all the menus and didn't like what he played, only to find out later that he saved over my save file. And I never went back to the game because he saved over my save file and it was too sad for me. SD, I don't know if he hated the name, but I would imagine he hated the name. This is something we'll have to revisit next time he's here. But now is finally my chance to right that wrong. I could have gone back on the Wii and played it. This isn't a Do thing. It was a me thing. It was just, whenever I thought about the game, I was like, oh, but my save file. But now I'll have the chance to enjoy it in 4K on Switch 2, and I can play the game I only got to play a chunk of back then. So that's pretty cool. Another game that has been rumored for a long time and got confirmed, Metaphor ReFantasio. Talking so much. See, this is what happens if I don't drink. I lose my voice. Drink water. I'm saying drink water, not as in drink alcohol. You do whatever you want. I drink water. Metaphor ReFantasio. I played a demo for it, and I knew I didn't have time to play the full game, so I didn't buy it. But I played the demo, and I really liked the demo. I was like, one day I'll get to play that, and I can't wait for that day. And now that day will be on Switch too. So very happy that, again, we knew it was coming. It was leaked through ratings boards, but now we know. Official, revealed, coming out November 12th. Metaphor on Switch 2. Metaphor ReFantasio is not afraid of Grand Theft Auto. It's coming out. Taking a drink. Another game that was rumored, now confirmed. Stellar Blade. The gang at Shift Up is bringing their action adventure to the Switch 2. Players can experience extra things in this version, including Joy-Con 2 motion controls for activities, adding an extra layer of immersion 2 moments away from combat. I am a fan of that kind of stuff. I loved the way that the No More Heroes franchise used motion controls where it was like button presses, but then like you locked in the final hit with a swipe. And that just felt so good to me. I know it's such a stupid little thing, but I really loved that. So it seems like that's the kind of thing Stellar Blade's going to do on Switch 2, where certain moments in combat let you use a swipe rather than like you're swiping the whole time, like a waggle game on the Wii. So yeah, I played a lot of Stellar Blade on PS5, but then things just got in the way. And I'm curious to see how the Switch 2 version turns out. The trailer made it look like it looked pretty darn close to the PS5 version. I'm sure, when Digital Foundry gets in there, they'll be like the specular mapping and highlighting on the voxels. And I'm just making words up. But I'm not knocking them. That's their thing. And they do a really good job with it. It's just, somebody like me is like, yeah, it looks pretty much the same. Close enough for me. But again, that's coming out on Switch 2 in 2026. No date other than 2026 on that, but Switch 2. This is really funny, this next one. RuneScape Dragon Wilds got announced for Switch 2, and it comes out September 15th. Open world survival crafting adventure. Now, we've all heard of RuneScape. I've never played it. I've always been curious about it. I've always had a little bit of an itch to play, but I never played any RuneScape. Never scratched that itch. And I saw RuneScape Dragon Wilds recently before the Switch 2 announcement. I was like, that looks kind of fun. I think I might want to try that. Then it gets announced for Switch 2, and I'm like, well, so I think I might try that. Will RuneScape become part of my life for the next 10 years, like 20 years, however long that game's been around? Will RuneScape Dragon Wilds be my RuneScape? I don't know, but September 15th, we'll find out together. Lords of the Fallen 2 got announced for Switch 2. Comes out this fall, no specific date. That was one we did not know about, but there were rumblings of, but now it is confirmed. Moving on. Got another look at Final Fantasy XIV Online. We knew Tales of Eternia Remastered existed because a game rating came out before it was announced, but it was announced during the Nintendo Direct for Switch 2 and Switch. Comes out October 16th at 60 frames per second on both platforms. And Bandai Namco, in my opinion, got done dirty because this game was revealed first time at the Nintendo Direct, but in the sizzle reel. Didn't even get its own little segment. It's got the sizzle reel where it's like, here's Snow Runner and Fitness Boxing 3 and Tales of Eternia Remastered. No shame to those other games, but poor Tales of Eternia Remastered only gets a sizzle reel section. I was like, that doesn't seem fair. Not fair. That doesn't seem right. How about that? Hey, Whitelands, good to see you. Whitelands says it had a proper segment in the Japanese Direct. Okay, that makes sense. Maybe less of a focus for the Western audiences and more of a focus in Japan where it's more popular. Okay. Or might get more attention. Makes sense to me. Got another look at Atelier Caria, The Night Kingdom, and The Guide of Memories, the next alchemy-themed RPG. Comes out on Switch 2 in early 2027. No Switch for that one, I believe. Switch 2 early 2027. Rise of the Tomb Raider 20-year celebration got launched on Switch 2 that day. Embark on Laura's most treacherous journey to unlock the mysteries of the past, including the base game and all season pass content, as well as online co-op. So you can play that right now on your Switch 2. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2. We got another look at that. August 27th. Remember, that is Switch 2 and Switch. Snow Runner, as I said, which we knew was coming and got launched that day. Here's one we didn't know about. Observer System Redo. Which is a reworking of Observer. The, I don't know what you want to call it, mystery puzzle walking simulator game from Bluebird Team that came out a while ago. It's now coming out on Switch 2, June 18th, so very soon. Starring Rutger Hauer. Rutger Hauer is who I was trying to think of. In one of his last roles, honestly, Rutger Hauer. So, big fan of Rutger Hauer, and I can't remember if he played this game or not, but if he hasn't, it's going to Switch 2. I'm not crazy, right? Let me double check something. Yeah, developed by. Yes, okay. Just making sure. I'm not crazy. All right. Moving on. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 coming to Switch 2 this holiday season, which we knew about. Daisy Cool Edition. Ooh, so cool. Wow. She's so cool. An open world multiplayer survival sandbox set in a post-apocalyptic world, launching on Switch 2 later this year. Everbloom, another game we knew about, but now we have a launch window coming on to Switch 2 in spring 2027. A cute and cozy farming single player and multiplayer simulation set in a world of whimsy. Fitness Boxing 3 on Switch 2 July 16th. Again, we knew about that. Now let me go. That's the end of that press release, but let me go back up top just to make sure. Did that. Yep. Just want to make sure nothing was missed. Okay, that's it. We did it all. Now, as I said, I'd like to circle. Well, let's read your first comment. Or top rated. Backfug says it's wild that they can show off 6 first-party games for this year and significant updates to 4 more, while getting big day-and-date third-party releases, and people will legitimately sit and cry that it's not enough because it's not the exact thing that they wanted. Backfug, I will say I agree. But I don't feel that sentiment as strongly. People want what they want, and sometimes they can't see past what they want, and their reactions shortly after something happens are gut reactions. So I'll give them some grace. But I will say for me, this direct was an 8 out of 10. Really loved a lot of it. The only thing that would have ticked it up to a 9 for me would have been one more Nintendo reveal, and I honestly don't care what it is. If they were like new Pikmin, new Battalion Wars, new Kirby, new Pikmin, I don't care. Just one more Nintendo reveal, regardless of it coming out this year or next, I don't care. That would have ticked it up to a 9 for me. Call me crazy, but as a Nintendo fan, I always want more Nintendo. So, but outside of that, what I got, yeah, I give an 8 out of 10. Excitebots, sure. SD, give me more Excitebots. Taking a drink. I almost just spit water all over myself. So yeah, 8 out of 10. I liked it a lot. Now, the game that made me cry were
the game.
Deltarune, of course. You guys got me on that. And I'm going to go do the drum roll to make this even more climactic. Big Walk. I teared up at Big Walk because I legitimately wanted that game on Switch 2 so bad, and I just want to play that game in general so bad. So Big Walk and Deltarune did it for me. There you go. Now, as I said, I wanted to circle all the way back to Ocarina of Time because I come to you a man of change. I come to you asking for forgiveness, begging for forgiveness, if you will, or at least an open ear, willing to hear the musings of a reformed man. That's me, Tall Show. That's me walking in. SD says repent. As anyone who reads GoNintendo, reads the Patreon, or listens to this podcast knows, I do not have an interest in remakes. I don't want remakes. I don't play remakes. Remakes aren't my thing. Well, while I still don't want remakes, I won't ever ask for a remake. You'll never hear me say like, boy, I really want a Skyward Sword remake or a Super Mario Brothers 3 remake. I will never ask for a remake. Unless maybe if a game's like really, really, really bad, but I think the game could be good, I'd be like, man, I wish they remake that, but good this time. I'm just not going to ask for remakes because I don't have that in me. I don't desire remakes. But everything surrounding the remake reveal of Ocarina of Time has had me greatly reconsidering how I approach and talk about remakes. And I am a reformed man. I'm willing to admit when I have blind spots and sometimes need to be shaken and recentered somewhere to see things in a new light. And that is what happened. Malik Halo, in general, that is one of my favorite interviews with Jon Stewart. And that moment, I love. Man, is that so good. You have to go to Discord to see what I'm talking about. But anyway. So, I saw the remake. I was not surprised because, again, we've known for a long time this is coming. I will say just for the teaser itself, Nintendo has, when it comes to Zelda trailers and teasers in the last few years, knocked it out of the park to an insane degree. I feel like Nintendo's trailers for Zelda are, bar none, their best trailers. They have killed it. Like the trailer for the launch trailer for Tears or for Breath of the Wild, and then the launch trailer for Tears of the Kingdom. Some of the finest game trailers I have ever seen in my entire life. I mean that. I really do mean that. And I feel like the teaser for Ocarina of Time continues that tradition. The storytelling in that trailer was phenomenal. Goosebump worthy. Yes, your SD says the music was great. The use of music was expert level. To give those little glimpses of themes you've heard from Ocarina of Time. Saria's song or Saria's song, however you say it. Just the little, like, it's like, this is the setup for what's coming, but also this is for the real fans. When you hear, I don't want to be like, I'm a real fan, but I mean, like the people who know the original game inside and out. They hear boop, 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 and you're like, no. Boop, 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 and it's like, oh, and the emotion that hits you. Fine art. That trailer's fine art. Now, what I really want to give applause to is I need to take another look at things, but that narrator in that trailer, in my opinion, based off of what I can recall, is hands down, by far, the best voice acting Nintendo has ever presented in anything they have ever done. That narrator was perfection. And I hope that shows that if Ocarina of Time has voice acting in it, because modern Zelda games do, that Nintendo is taking voice acting multiple levels more seriously than they have in the past. That narrator sounded and had a tone and a style and a direction that felt spot on perfect, in my opinion. That is the part of the trailer that blew me away the most, that narrator sounded good. Because I am of the opinion that Nintendo's voice acting, when it's at its best, is okay. And when it's at its worst, it's really bad. But I can remove my opinion, and that doesn't ruin the games for me. I can still play games that I think have bad voice acting and love them. I can watch anime that I think has bad voice acting and still love it too. Does not ruin a game for me. Yeah, Animal Crossing voice acting is peak SD. You're right, of course. I take it back. Outside of Animal Crossing and Tomodachi Life, for that matter, this is the next best thing Nintendo's done. So for years, I've been like, Nintendo, can't you work with another company and be like, hey guys, can you cast these roles for us because we're missing the mark here? And it might be a language barrier where, like, Nintendo, the very high up important people in Nintendo aren't capable of hearing English voice acting and knowing that it's like good and hitting where it should be. But whatever's going on in Nintendo, they need more people there handling this to be like, no, like somebody else has got to be taking charge of this voice acting and casting these people. Like the voice acting in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, it's fine. It's fine. There are moments that are nice, but overall, it's fine. It's serviceable. But I would never point to it as like, that's really good voice acting. This narrator gives me a hope I've never had for Nintendo. Where I'm like, maybe someone somewhere in the ranks is like, we need to up our game of voice acting. Fingers crossed it's not just some guy they hired for the trailer and then you get the game and whatever. Time will tell. But for my money's worth, I loved that. Nightwind says, Dude told me the narrator was Charles Martinet. I believe it. Legend of Zelda ambassador, Charles Martinet. So fingers crossed that it heads in that direction. Now, as for everything else in the trailer, yeah, I mean, very nice. I will say I was shocked at the graphics when you see Link. I was like, oh my God, that's like really like, I don't want to say realistic. It's very realistic for a Legend of Zelda game, but I looked at it, I was like, oh man, they're just gonna like push the horsepower of Switch 2 to make this like, you know, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess style visuals. That's that same kind of mentality. And that's fine by me. That's cool. So yeah, we didn't see any gameplay or whatever, and I'm not of the mindset where I'm like, they need to show gameplay. They don't. I honestly feel like this approach with this teaser was like expertly done. Like just a little taste to be like, yeah, it's here. Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, it's this year. And leave people like excited that it is happening in general, and then leave them clamoring to be like, well, I want to see more. And that's what you want. You don't want people to be like, I don't care. They may see the next thing that Nintendo shows and be like, oh, I don't care. But now you got everybody hook line, or you got the vast majority of people hook, line, and sinker because they're like, even if they're suspicious, they just still want to see more. So that's great. And this goes back to, and again, this is my opinion. That's my opinion. This is my opinion. There are outlets where they're like, Nintendo drops the ball with Ocarina of Time reveal. Nintendo missed the mark with Ocarina of Time reveal, and it's all because they didn't show more of the game. And those articles are like, everybody knew this game was coming, and you get to the reveal, and all you do is show Link sleeping in a bed. How are you gonna do that? And sure, whatever, but that is, and I think to a shocking degree, game outlets being in their own bubble. Are there people that knew about this game? Yes. But there's a much, 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 much bigger group that did not know about it. You have to remember, gaming press has to remember that we are the niche of the niche. We are hyper aware and focused on everything going on with this stuff. We're the ones that are constantly waking up every day being like, what is the latest gaming news in everything? We are hyper focused on it. We know everything. There's a much bigger group of people out there who play games but don't obsessively look at all that stuff. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing that you obsessively look. I'm one of those people. I started a website about it. I don't mean obsessive in a bad way. I'm just saying there are layers to this. There's plenty of people who play games all the time, but they don't read game news. Like they may tune in for a big presentation, like a direct or a state of play or a showcase, but they're not reading the news or going on forums or watching social media. And for gaming press to be like, Nintendo drops the ball on this reveal, shows that a lot of these outlets are in that bubble. They don't see beyond the bubble. The bubble's not opaque for them. They're in some sort of black clouded bubble where all they see is their the people that share the same viewpoint as them. Like they only think of the people who know everything that's going on in gaming because they read news all the time. Would those people like to have seen more from the Ocarina of Time reveal? Certainly some of them would have, and other ones are still okay that we didn't get more. They just like seeing a confirmation. But to write articles or host podcasts or whatever and be like, Nintendo did this all wrong. How can you not show more? You're thinking of this too microscopically, and you can't cater to just that drilled down level. And to think that they should, in my opinion, is crazy, because the people who want more, the people who saw the Ocarina of Time trailer and wanted more, I'm not going to say no one, because there's always an example, but the vast majority of those people who want more and are mad that they didn't get more are not going to not buy the game now, or not watch the next presentation that happens, or not watch the next trailer that comes out, because they are the ones that know when that stuff is happening, and they are the ones that know when those trailers go online, and they're the ones that know when Nintendo's going to do a Zelda Direct. The not showing more, and the people that are angry about not showing more, are not going to now be like, nope, done with Ocarina of Time Remake. Don't care, don't want it, it's over. Does that group of people exist? I guess. I don't have any stats. I guess they do. But come on. That's got to be such a small group of people for someone to be like, they didn't show more now? I'm out. I'm done. Maybe there's people online that talk like that, but I don't even believe them. It's a smaller subset still of people that are like, they didn't show enough gameplay, so I'm out completely, and they don't buy the game. Does that person exist? I want to say no, but I know that's stupid. There's got to be people out there like that, but I can't imagine it's a lot of them. There's a much bigger pulled back picture than there is zoomed in picture. And the gaming press is zoomed in to a degree that they can no longer see anything else. Some of the gaming press. Not everybody, but some. Just so shocked that outlets put out articles like that, where I'm like, I get wanting to see more. As Nintendo fans, we all want to see more, of course. But to be like, they dropped the ball, they got it wrong, they ruined the reveal, they're in trouble. What are you talking about? Who is this? Who are these people? What is this group you're talking about? The group that's mad and then they're going to watch the next thing anyway? Okay, well then they don't matter. You're talking about the people who got so mad they're not going to play the game and refuse to watch anything else. Okay, write that article for those people. I think what's really going on is you're writing that article because you wanted to see more and you're mad they didn't show more. Yes, Tall Show, perfect GIF. Spy Kids lenses, computer enhance. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. You know what? I'm open to being wrong. I'm not saying what I'm saying is a fact. I'm just sharing the opinion that I think these people are too zoomed in and too hyper focused, and they're not looking at all the other millions of people out there. You know, there's 156 million people who own the Switch. I don't have any stats on how many of them are checking video game news every single day obsessively, or at least checking in a couple times a week. But, you know, I think saying 20 million is a very, very, very high estimate. I think maybe, well, whatever. I think saying 20 million is a high estimate. I don't have any numbers or proof to back that up. That's what I feel. But maybe I'm wrong. Nikki Hill is texting me. Oh, not about the show. So I'm waiting to get that piece off my chest for since the Direct. And I have another thing that segues into that, and why I'm feeling new ways about about remakes in general. And I'm embarrassed that it took this for me to think this way or see things differently, but I am willing to admit that it happened, and I do now see things differently. And I'll tell you right after this sip of water. So we got the reveal of Ocarina of Time. I knew people would be excited, and rightfully so. That's awesome. You guys know I'm on TikTok all the time. I'm on social media all the time, first off, because for work, not outside of work, but I know TikTok is social media to some degree. I'm on TikTok for my free time. I go on it a lot to laugh at old people falling down and babies getting hit in the head with kids getting hit in the head at baseball games or whatever. It's how I relax. But I'll get game stuff every once in a while. I'll get like FortNite stuff or in general game stuff. Very, very, very far and few between. Few and far between. I got, and am still getting, as of today, so many videos of people reacting to the Ocarina of Time reveal. Now, I am of the opinion that there are some streamers, reactors, whatever you want to call them out there, who are putting on a show for their audience. They may be excited about what they're seeing, but what you're getting from them reaction-wise is 10 times, 20 times bigger than what they would actually do. They might cheer and clap and applaud if they were just watching on their own, but because they're on stream and in front of camera, they're amping up their reaction. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying that's what I feel. And I don't know when everyone's being genuine and when they're not. I can just look at something and gauge. What I can say is the overwhelming majority, and I mean like more than 9 out of 10, of what has come across my For You page on TikTok has been people who are genuinely shell-shocked by this reveal and blown away to a degree that even some of them are like embarrassed to admit. And I think that's beautiful. I'm talking about mouths agape, gasping, laughing in disbelief, clapping, screaming, cheering, crying, obviously. Lots and lots of crying. Little bit of tears, full on bawling, people hugging each other. Some of the most beautiful reactions to any game reveal I have ever seen. And my For You page has been inundated with them. Like by far the thing I'm getting the most. I'm not exaggerating. I have seen hundreds of them. Hundreds. I wish I kept count. I could go back in my history and look, but literally hundreds of them, of people reacting where they are flabbergasted in such a beautiful way. And that's it. I could cry talking about it. That's when it really clicked for me. Because, you know, I like new experiences. I want new games. I love the things I've played and things I've read and watched. I really do. But I'm always looking to go to the next thing because there's so much stuff out there that I want to experience as much new as I can. And I was not poo-pooing people who played remakes or wanted remakes. It just wasn't for me, and I struggled to see how they could want that so much. And after seeing all these reveals or all these reactions, it really clicked for me, and it was really honestly beautiful. And I'm embarrassed that it took me this long and this needed to happen for me to feel that way. Like I could cry not out of happiness, but like sadness and embarrassment. Like it makes me, you can hear I'm getting a little emotional about it. I'm trying to hold on, but like I am like ashamed of myself that I didn't see things like this or couldn't see things like this. Ocarina of Time, and this goes for all remakes, but Ocarina of Time is the one that did it for me. It made it all click. Ocarina of Time getting remade, you see these people having these reactions. And it's not just about, oh, I love that game. I want to play that game again. That is a part of it, obviously, a big part too. But it's about finding a way back to reconnecting with that part of you and those feelings and that time in your life and that range of emotions, because people, you know, years have passed since any number of games come out and get remakes. Ocarina of Time, it's been decades. Those people are grown up and have jobs and families and significant others and have faced struggles and have had great triumphs. Like they've lived lifetimes. And when a remake comes around, like Ocarina of Time or whatever it may be, it helps them reconnect and bring back feelings that they may not otherwise be able to experience again anymore. Like, they were a kid, and I'm not trying to make this dark or sad, but like maybe that was a time when both their parents were alive and they're not alive now, or a time when they remember being so carefree and happy, and maybe they're still happy and carefree now, but in a different way. And back then, it, is something they can't get to anymore. And just having, you know, they could go back and play Ocarina of Time now, and I'm sure it will be a wonderful experience, but it doesn't hit in the same way. And having a remake like revives that stuff because it gives you a way to not only reconnect with that time gone by, but it also gives you the new feeling too, because you get to see it in a new way, in a new light, and experience new things. I'm really embarrassed that I couldn't see that, because pride is not the right word, but I do pride myself on trying to look at all perspectives and understand every perspective and leave a window open for all perspectives. And I may not come to the same conclusion, but I like to have that window open. And it just wasn't there for remakes, and I didn't see it, and it's embarrassing, and I feel really dumb. And it hit me really hard watching people watch the reveal and record their reactions. Hey, Kalas, good to see you. And just having it drilled into me, like it clicked. It really clicked. And like I said, I am not at a point where I'm like, I love remakes. I want remakes. I personally will not request remakes. But I understand them better. And, we could take a cynical approach of like companies are just doing remakes because they know people like the game in the first place and they'll shell out money to get something they already know they like. Fine. Some companies are doing that. Other companies have a little more artistic vision with them. Fine. I don't care about any of that. Honestly, I don't. Because the reaction that the people are having is a genuine one. That's what I care about. Whatever business corporation is making the decisions to make these things because they know it'll make them some bank, okay. But the result on the other side is someone who cries and feels great and has excitement and all that good stuff. That's what matters to me. So, that's all new for me. Again, which is very embarrassing to say, but that's all new for me. But also, I now feel not the desire, but the need to delve into remakes more to see if I can find on a personal level some of that stuff. Because I haven't. I have played some remakes for a number of reasons, but I haven't found those moments. I've just found reasons to want to play the original or reasons why I didn't like the remake. But now I have blinders off and a whole new way of looking at things. Hey, King of Mars, good to see you. So now I need to take my own shackles off more and delve into some remakes. I'm going to be picky about which ones I go to, but I'm now going to be open to playing remakes, whereas before I was so far pulled back I couldn't even see them. So again, now I'm not like team remake all the time. Thank you, Nightwind. A great picture. But now I will take each remake on a case by case basis. So there you go. I talked about gaming press and being so zoomed in on what they want and not being able to see the bigger picture. And I was doing the same thing with some other aspect. And I am now saying, I've had the moment of recognition. I have the understanding. I saw how people reacted, and it made things shift for me. And now I am changing how I operate going forward. That's what life is about. I don't want to make this a bigger thing about life, but that's what life is about. You humble yourself, you open your eyes, you take in new perspectives, you think of things in a new way, you come to understand different perspectives, and you adjust accordingly going forward. You know more. That's what I'm trying to do. So from here on out, and retroactively, I apologize for my past remake conversations. They were childish. And going forward, I will have a different stance. So I apologize, and I will do better. And hopefully that seems genuine and sincere. And I have a little bit more proof in that to talk about later. But there you go. Now, this also goes to show how people are like, the reveal was ruined, and it was for some people who had things spoiled and they didn't want. But plenty of these reactions are people. Plenty of these reactions were from people who very clearly weren't following the rumors or leaks or any of that, and they had no idea that a remake was happening at all. And those reactions are even better because there are people who have lovely reactions, but they'll say like, "So it was true," or "I heard this was happening," and they still are very emotional, but they had a little bit of magic taken from them. But I want to say, like, again, I'd have to go back and look at them all, but I'd say there were more reactions from people who did not know that this was rumored than there were people who knew about the rumor. So that's great. Again, more proof. Just because you know it and you know a lot of people that also know it doesn't mean that the vast majority of people know it. So a lot of those people got to see that for the first time and had their moment. I'm sorry if that moment was stolen from you, but there were many people who had that moment, and that's a beautiful thing. So I don't know that I've seen any remake outside of Final Fantasy VII met with this much raw emotion. The two could probably go head to head as far as like the emotions that they pulled out of people. So not every day a game reveal leads to an epiphany, but here I am. I'm taking a sip. So there you go. This Nintendo Direct, 8 out of 10 for me content-wise, 11 out of 10 for me on a personal growth level. Hey, Maddie Bits, I see you typing. Good to see you. Woo, 215. Told you I could do it. Now I don't know what I'm going to do. Let's see what other top stories there are. I hate doing like a Nintendo Direct. I love doing a Nintendo Direct recap, but then I hate going to like regular news. Yes, riding solo because the birthday party tomorrow. My sister's birthday is today. Her party is tomorrow. Also, do Michael's birthday. We speak your name. Do Michael's. We speak your name, Nintendo. Happy double day birthday to both of you. But yeah, I hate talking about all that exciting stuff and then going back to regular news where there's big stories, but it's like, doesn't quite measure up. So let me do something more measured here. I'll look at the headlines and see what I think is warranted. And I will cover them very quickly. Ice Dilbert, I don't know. Ice Dilbert says next I'll like food levels in games. I don't know. Everything's up for reassessment now, my friend. Pokemon Company saw its best fiscal year ever. So literally name any other fiscal year of Pokemon Company's existence, and they did better this one. And we all know how well they do all the time. Drew Michaels definitely knows. 3.3 billion in revenue, 752 million net profit. Net profits increased by over 70% from the previous year. Best fiscal year ever. Thanks to Pokemon Trading Card Game, Pokemon Legends ZA, Pokemon Pokopia. Knocking it out of the park. The Mario movie, Super Mario Galaxy movie, has crossed $1 billion at the box office. I believe the original made 1.4. This one is at 1.0 something. So congrats to Nintendo and Illumination. Another $1 billion movie at the box office. First movie this year to do that, to hit that milestone. Obviously, first movie did better. I think a lot more people this time around are like, hey, it'll be streaming sooner. We can hold out a month and get it there. Also, money's tighter than it was when the original movie came out. Times are tougher. People are like, I don't want to take my 2 kids to the movie with my husband and or wife or whoever and pay, what would that be? Like, it was like $65-$70, and that's without, if you're going like a regular time to the movie, so not a matinee, and you got 2 kids, let's say the kids' tickets are cheaper. I'll go 30, 50. I'll say that could still be between $50 and $60, and that's without popcorn, candy, soda, any of that stuff. Collectors, popcorn buckets. $60 when you're like, I could wait 5 weeks and watch this at home. You could get the video on demand version and pay $20 there, and that's still better. So I get it, but still, $1 billion made. There you go. Congrats to Mario. Great job, Mario. There was, I'll take a new approach here. Spoiler warning. There's a rumor of a new Nintendo game coming out that stars a franchise character you all know. If you don't want to hear the rumor, please look at the timestamps for this episode if they're there, or skip, I don't know, a minute. I'm not going to talk about it long. The rumor begins now. Rumor has it a new Wario game is in the works. We're not talking about WarioWare. WarioWare, like WHERE, am I right? We're not talking about WarioWare. We're talking about something starring Wario in a more traditional sense. Whether that's a new Wario Land or some other sort of Wario game. Your guess is as good as mine, but the last platformer Wario we got was Wario Land Shake It on the Wii back in 2008. How old are we that game is almost 20 years old? I like that game a lot. So rumor has it a new Wario game is in the works. That would be lovely. I'd love to see Wario off on his own. And how about this? Put Waluigi in his own game, god damn it. But that's your rumor? Nah. What is this? I really like these stories. I think they're fun to do, so I'm going to read this really quickly. We talked a little bit about this before. The director of the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy, Naoki Hamaguchi, has shared more comments on how much it means to him and how he recognizes that it's an important thing that Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy in general is coming back into the Nintendo ecosystem. He realizes it's a big deal. He realizes it means a lot to fans. And he's very happy that he's the one that's really getting to usher it in. Because as you know, Square Enix and Nintendo, or Square at the time, Squaresoft, kind of had a falling out when Final Fantasy VII came out because the next Final Fantasy was supposed to go to the 64. It didn't. They went to PlayStation, and it ended up being the biggest breakthrough Final Fantasy ever for the entire franchise. Hugely important, and that became the era of Sony and Square working very closely together. The relationship between Sony and Nintendo and Square Enix really soured. We had, what was it, a decade of no Square games on Nintendo platforms. It was bad. But, those two eventually repaired the relationship. But still, like when it came to like the major mainline stuff, Nintendo fans had still been waiting. And it only finally changed really a little bit during the Switch era, but especially during the Switch 2 era. And it's a big thing. So Hamaguchi had more comments on this to share with Game Informer, and he says this, quote, I think it's definitely a meaningful moment for the franchise and for fans as a whole. I was definitely a PlayStation kid when I was growing up playing games, but at the same time, I was also fond of Nintendo hardware as well. The original Final Fantasy VII is a very iconic title that represents the transition from Nintendo to PlayStation, but bringing that back and going with the multi-platform launch on day one with this title, Revelation, with this title is very meaningful to me. I know it means a lot for the original director and artist as well, people who actually grew up with the Nintendo platforms, but it means a lot to me to be the one who actually brings the Final Fantasy series back on Nintendo platforms again on day one as both a fan and developer. I think this is a meaningful full circle moment. Well, as someone who who is an ancient Nintendo fan, I very much appreciate you recognizing that moment, Mr. Hamaguchi, and showing that it does have importance, because I agree. It is very important. Matty Biss has... Oh, I can't talk about that. I don't want to go back to spoiler stuff, Matty Biss, but I think that's very funny. Discord, this falls on you. And I mean this. I need your answer to this question. Would it be sacrilege if I skipped the savory and sweet releases? Or could we skip them for today's show? I need your answer to this. Will there be upheaval, uproar, or is it understandable based on the show we're having today? I see you typing. I'm leaving it up to you. You're okay with me skipping it? Can you play the sound bite and skip it? Well, now we're talking. I like the way you think, Rotzel. Yeah, we'll play the... Well, we want the Nikki Hill music, yeah. The music is great. Wave Race music is great. I can't argue against that. All right. I'm making a call. We're skipping over the sweet releases. That's a shame, because there's going to be... I'm not blaming you guys. I'm just saying there's going to be a comment. But I'll go read the comments. Sticer left a comment on the American releases and said, that'll do, RMC. That'll do. It's like it was written because of the decision I made. And on the European releases, Sticer says, Nikki, sweet releases Hill never fails to impress. Thanks, Nikki. No, Nikki, no sweet releases. What we got is music. Now, Kalash is saying, maybe only do US or only Europe? Since I'm here, I'll take a quick look. How about North America and Europe? Notable releases very quickly. Atelier Yumiya. Rise of the Tomb Raider 20-year celebration. This is Switch 2, by the way. Sea of Stars got an update. Solar Punk. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, Switch 2 edition. Yeah, that's notable enough. Let's go to North America. Notable and noteworthy. And Roger on Switch 2. Densha Attack comes out June 17th on Switch 2. To a T, the new game, or the latest game from the Katamari Damacy creator. Starseeker Astroneer Expeditions is on Switch 2 as well. There you go. I think that's enough. We did a nice little thing there. We got the music. Becky Hill, we speak your name. I think that was a happy medium. Finally, we'll do this one. Famitsu readers have voted on their favorite game characters. This is part of the Famitsu 40th anniversary issue that came out. We'll start with number 10 and go up. As voted on by the readers of Famitsu, their most favorite characters. Number 10, Joker from Persona 5. Number 9, Kazuma Kiryu from Yakuza. Number 8, the Slime from Dragon Quest. Number 7, Pikachu. Number 6, Leon Kennedy, Daddy Leon, Daddy's Home from Resident Evil. 5, Link from The Legend of Zelda. 4, Kirby from Kirby. Tifa is number 3 from Final Fantasy VII. Cloud is number 2 from Final Fantasy VII. And number 1, and forever the number 1, and always the number 1 in your hearts.
Finally!
Super Mario number 1. Number 1. There you go. If you don't like the results, don't blame me. The Famitsu readers voted on it. RMC, what'd you play this week? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Oh my God. I played more FortNite, and so we talked about the new season, and there were things I like that the sprites are back and all that, but I was struggling a little bit with the season. I was like, I don't know. I like the boots that you slide around in. I like the sprites. I like the map. But I was like, I don't know if I like the weapons. And I'm still not crazy about the weapon choice, but I've fallen into what I like to use, and I'm getting better at it, so I'm enjoying it. I will say, first week of the season, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play, but I'm not crazy about it. Second week, I was like, yeah, I'm in the groove here. There he is, Kinger hitting the FortNite dance. We love to see it. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. And tonight, hot damn tonight, I am getting Pomni as soon as that shop changes. When does it change? 7 or 8 o'clock? Is it right now? If it's right now, I got to end the podcast. I would never do that. FortNite shop. Yes, it is one of the sites I most frequently visit on my phone. All right, the shop updates at 8, I believe. New Jersey time, 8. So we got an hour. Pomni. I'm excited. So yeah, there's that. I played that. Goddamn. Oh yes, okay. I knew I played 2 things. And I remembered them. I tried the DK challenge because I thought that was a fun idea. I like that. I was like, yeah, I'll go play some old DK games and I'll go try the challenges and gain some digital cards. I don't know why I want those cards, but I do. I want those cards. I really do. Like, I think it'd be cool to have a collection of them. Who am I going to show them to? Nobody, but I'll know they're there. Matty Biss says, what if they made a Waluigi game as a side scroller, but in the background you're racing Mario to try and beat him to the end of the levels with all new power-ups like a hot chili that makes you go wah and run uncontrollably? I'm in. Yeah, I'm in. Ratzel says, bro, me too. I'm a DK nut. Well, yeah, so I fired it up and spent some time playing it. I only did the country-related ones because that's all I had time for, but I had fun. I liked it. It's a little silly, simple. I wish it was. I haven't done the other challenges yet, so I got to see. But all the Donkey Kong Country challenges, and it's 1, 2, 3 that you play through for the challenges. It's pretty much like just go through a level and don't die. And I wish it was more like get through the stage in this amount of time, or at least they had some of those, or like go through here and get all the Kong letters and what, just a little bit of variation. I guess I wish that was it. But what they do is fine and enjoyable, and I had fun. If anything, it was a nice little trip down memory lane. And I got it on I'm embarrassed about this. I had a little more trouble than I thought I would have, and I thought I would have no trouble. I died a couple times. And I know those games front and back, side to side, up, down, in between. I know them biblically, but I haven't played them in a while. I died a couple times. I got all the cards, and there was nothing where I was like, I'm never going to do this. But I will say I died more than I thought I would. Ratzel says, didn't they say there were more extra difficult challenges you can access somehow? Maybe you just have to play through the earlier challenges first. I don't know, Ratzel. If they did say that, I'm stupid. And if I didn't know that, I'm stupid. I run a Nintendo site. I should know that. But if that is the case, that would be great. If anybody would like to be so kind during the rest of the time we have during the podcast and try and hunt down that information, if it does exist, I would love to see it. And ping me by adding me, and I will make sure to credit you. Oh, developer challenges. I remember them mentioning that, SD. You're right. I remember that. They said that. You guys are good. You guys should run GoNintendo. I remember hearing that during the direct. You're right. So maybe what I want is in there. What I want could already be there. Well, I need to go back in. But I liked playing it. And I thought it was pretty, there's a word that I'm looking for and I don't know it. I thought it was handled elegant. I thought it was handled pretty elegantly. How you go look, you do your switch online button and you hit it and you go in and you look at the cards and you scroll through them and it's like, here's this card. Play through the first level in Donkey Kong Country. And you click the card and it loads up Donkey Kong Country on the Nintendo Classics and you're in. And it's not like you got to wait a long time. It's just like, you click the button and then it's pretty much, a second or two, you're into the game. I was like, oh, that's pretty impressive. And then you get the card and you get you accomplish the goal. It says like the challenge banner and then boop, back out to the cards. And I was like, pretty elegant, pretty smooth. I liked it. I liked how that was handled. Yes, there are Bonanza challenges as well too, and I will do those eventually too. I just want to do the old ones first. But yes, if you have Donkey Kong Bonanza, there are DK challenges for that as well. Taking a drink. Thank you for pointing that out, Matty Biss. So yeah, I spent time with that and I liked it. I will definitely go get more. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. If I had more time, I would have played more, but I didn't. And then, because I am proving to you that I am a changed man. I'm a changed man, damn it. If you heard what I said earlier, you probably have an idea where this is going. I downloaded the demo for Star Fox. I played the demo for Star Fox. I really liked the demo for Star Fox. I really did. I really, really did. The demo is one mission. I don't remember where it is. It's in the asteroid field. And you play the tutorial before that. You get some you get the prologue cutscene, and you get some in between scenes of the gang all talking, the General Pepper and all that. I really liked it. I really liked it. I thought the game controlled really well. I thought piloting the R-Wing felt incredibly smooth. I was really impressed. I didn't try out the mouse mode stuff yet. I was just doing regular flying around. But I honestly like it really felt like the ship was gliding really smoothly. And that could be through a combination of the controls in general, the animation, and the frame rate. But whatever it was, it felt really nice. I just felt really good. And I liked the training mission. It was fun. And it, I know all the ins and outs. Of course, inverse controls Laxter. Up is down and down is up. And that's the default when I started the game. It asked me if I wanted to change it. And I said no. So the tutorial mission just felt really good. And even though I know how everything works in Star Fox, it was fun to play. And I don't remember the tutorial in Star Fox 64. I would imagine there was one. Maybe I'm wrong. But just like the banter and discussion and all that stuff in the tutorial, I felt it felt really well realized. Star Fox is one of those games with cheesy voice acting where I'm cool with it. It doesn't bother me. I actually kind of like it. It's like the cheese of Resident Evil. You're like, this is part of it. Like, I like that. So I think the voice acting in the game was fun. I would never say it's good voice acting on its face, but it works for me in Star Fox. And I liked it. I liked the voice acting. I really liked the voice acting on the guy that's in the tutorial. Forget what he's called, but I liked everything I heard. Yeah, I really liked it. And it just felt, again, more realized, better realized. So I liked it. I was like, man, the tutorial actually kind of blew me away. So then I went and watched the story tidbit and played the main mission that's there. I got very emotional. You guys know I really like Star Fox. I mean, a few weeks ago, I was bawling my eyes out about how I saw the Galaxy movie and bawled my eyes out when Fox appeared, and I couldn't not cry talking about seeing the movie because I cried when seeing the movie because I love Star Fox that much. But I got really emotional playing the demo because, again, like this is a remake and like the enemy patterns and paths might be the same, but through the visuals and the atmosphere and the chatter and like expanded dialogue, it just felt it feels like I imagine how it feels. Like when I think of Star Fox, I know what it's actually like, and I love that. But I think of like how it makes me feel and how it feels to me, and how it feels to me is bigger than how it appears in the game. It's like, It's like it's just like imagining something, even though it's there in front of you. I imagine it or see it as more than it is based on how it makes me feel. And Star Fox on Switch 2 gave me how I've always felt about it, at least the demo and the tutorial I played. Like, it gave me that feeling. I no longer felt like my mind had to bridge the gap to get to how it made me feel. I just played it and felt that way. So I love Star Fox and all the old ones, and I know the feelings it gives me. But when I think of it in my head, like, it's embellished. But in Star Fox with the Switch 2 demo, there's no embellishment. It's there. Like, I got what I wanted or what I've always seen or gotten from it, which is kind of crazy. It was like a really beautiful thing. I was very emotional during that. And there was like a whole section where the music was going and I'm dodging in and out of asteroids and shooting ships where I was like controller, hands shaking, eyes like watering, and I couldn't stop. And like, I'm trying to stop now. I can feel the tears coming now. So that was just more proof positive my stance of my readjusted stance for remakes is the right path to go forward. Because it was great and the demo ended and I was like, oh no, I want more. Thankfully, we don't have to wait long, but it was good. And I watched the commercials, the Japanese commercials for Star Fox, and I cried there too. I am a man in touch with his emotions, and I love it. I've always loved it. And I've only gotten more emotional, and I love that part about myself. I really do. I really, really do. And I hope you all have things that make you emotional and happy and that you can connect with on those levels because it's a lot of fun. I love it. So that's what I played this week. I was, some of the week I was still doing cleanup from presentations and then the direct happened and there was a lot going on. But done and dusted. We are out of fake E3, E3. I can go back to a more relaxed schedule. And I'm very happy about that because I want to get back to playing more games and relaxing. Taking it easy. I don't want to sit at the computer for 12 hours and watch presentations all day. I love video games. I don't want to see 12 hours of presentations. So that's what I had the chance to play this week. Now we got questions. So when you send your questions to goninpod@gmail.com. Where? goninpod@gmail.com. Maybe I will. They can be about Nintendo, video games in general, or whatever the hell you want. This week, I am not doing a new regular question because it's from SD Sick Hero. Thank you for the support, Tall Show. My pleasure. SD Sick Hero has the next question. No, that's a lie. Yes, sorry. Getting ahead of myself. This week's question comes from AJ. I watched the amazing documentary Class Action Park, which was about the history of Action Park. Did any of you visit Action Park while it was operational? Besides the horrific injuries and rampant death, it seemed like a blast. So Action Park, for those who don't know, is a legendary theme park that was here in Jersey. And it's legendary because it is a theme park before people decided to do regulation and to take regulations and safety precautions seriously, at least at this park. Those things obviously existed decades ago, but they're much stronger now. But back then with Action Park, it seems like they didn't care. Action Park is notorious for like, get on a ride and pray you don't die or break something. And not to be grim, but people did die. Lots of people broke stuff. So the park was operational when I was alive. But by the time I would be like of park going age for like a theme park, I'm going to say like 7 years old or 6 years old, something like that. The park had ceased operations because too many people got hurt and or died. I'm taking a drink. So no, I never got to go. But my cousin, who I think is roughly 10 years older than me, they did go. and know people who got hurt at the park. They escaped getting hurt. They got a little banged up, but no broken bones. But yes, they were there at Action Park when it was in its prime, and people were flying off the sides of slides and smashing into walls and falling out of pipes, and they were there at that time. And they saw firsthand why the place eventually shut down. They had a loop-de-loop water slide that had no propulsion water in it. As you know, there are still very few, but there's a loop-de-loop slide at water parks that have jets that push you at the sections to make sure you go through the loop. Action Park had a loop-de-loop slide with no propulsion. It was just like, they'll be up here and they'll go down and they'll have enough water to make it around the pipe. Well, some people didn't. It's crazy. They had one of those big like toilet bowl things, but like the ledge of the toilet bowl thing was too low, so people would fly over the sides of it. Crazy. In the Discord, Retsuza put the Defunct Land documentary about the history of Action Park. That's probably the place where you'll get the best information if you want to see what it was like and why it shut down. Go give that a watch if you got a spare 7 hours. Okay, his videos, I say this lovingly, his videos are always very long. I clicked over to take a look. Hey, quiet down. Oh, it's only 17 minutes. Well, I'm wrong. There you go, 17 minutes. Get yourself up to speed. When I did have time to relax at night this week, I just like lay on the couch and be like, I don't want to go to bed just yet. I just want to like watch a little something. I was watching the Reckless Ben Lego saga, which has been the talk of the internet. So I'm not even going to get into it. If you don't know about the Lego saga, somebody had Star Wars Legos stolen and they were valuable. Very short version. Go watch Reckless Ben's videos on YouTube. Quite the saga, but it requires a good amount of time. There's like probably 3 to 4 hours worth of videos in there, but it is worth it and it is very interesting. And then after you watch that, go watch CoffeeZilla's follow-up on that, which I won't talk about because it's too many spoilers. But if you're one who likes to go down the YouTube rabbit hole, that's a solid 5 hours worth of content you can watch this weekend and enjoy. And it is very much worth your time. We also have a Patreon question. Hey, Discord chat, did you know you can join the GoNintendo Patreon?
For $1.
For $1. SD Sick Hero did. And they asked a question last week. And they are also next week. Or they were supposed to be this week's question. But it was one that was aimed at the whole crew. So I felt that wouldn't be fair. They're on Patreon. They paid $1. They want to ask the crew a question. I want at least one more person here. So I'm holding off. So what am I doing instead? I'm going back to SD Sick Hero's question from last week because I often say, as soon as the podcast ends, I know I'm going to have a good answer for your question. And that always happens. And last week, I walked downstairs at night to get walk on the treadmill like I do every night. And right before I got on the treadmill, I was like, son of a bitch, that's what I should have talked about. So I'm going to do that now. SD Sick Hero's question last week was, tell us something cool or interesting you just learned today or very recently that you never knew before. And I shared some stuff last week. That was fine, but nothing that like I felt really met the criteria. So I'm going back to it because now I have something. So when I was setting up my spring anime lineup of what to watch, there is one called Akane Banashi. And you can watch it for free. It's airing for free on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube. Subtitled, not dubbed. And it may be my favorite anime of this season. What does it have to do with learning something new? Well, it taught me about a whole thing I didn't know anything about. It taught me about Rakugo, 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 which translates literally into fallen words. What's Rakugo? I didn't know about it. I learned about it. Now I'm telling you about it. Rakugo is a 400-year-old traditional Japanese form of verbal comedy and solo storytelling. The lone performer sits on a raised cushion portraying multiple characters using only their voice, facial expressions, a folding paper fan, and a small cloth as props. That's what it's about. And it's a job. Like you can become a professional Rakugo performer. I forget what there's 2 tiers of it. I forget what the terms are, but you can study it, perform it, get graded on it, get rated on it and become officially, I don't want to say licensed, but officially recognized Rakugo performer. Yeah, it's kind of like stand-up Laxter, except they're sitting on their knees. Again, they don't have any props except the fan, and it's very performing different characters in different voices and with different facial expressions is very it's a very, very, very big part of the whole performance. And the anime Akane Banashi is about this girl whose father aimed to be one of these Rakugo performers, and when he went to go get graded at the end of his performance, he got banned from ever being recognized as a Rakugo performer, which is something that can happen in real life. But it's never made clear why that happens. And it's something that's stuck with his daughter forever and influenced his daughter to want to become a Rakugo performer to eventually get back in front of the guy that banned her father from being an officially recognized performer in order to win that same contest and then ask the guy why he did that to her father. It is a phenomenal anime. Retsuza says they need to read the manga. Yeah, you can read the manga too. It is phenomenal. It's so well done. The passion and drama of it, and the just the deepness of which is explored, but in an entertaining way. It's on YouTube, Blackster, literally, just YouTube, officially on YouTube, not third party pirated or anything. Akane Banashi, AKANE-BANASHI. Akane Banashi. There's like, I think we're at the end, almost at the end. This weekend might be the end. It's like 10 or 11 episodes. So good. So good. The animation is also gorgeous. I love the design of the characters and the coloring, but it's beautiful. And I learned all about Rakugo, and I never knew about it before, and I find it really interesting. So there, SD Sick Hero, there's a real good answer. Hey, Popple. Popple, I swear I didn't talk about anime this whole podcast, except now. I'm done. So there's an answer to your question. We don't have music. There you go. First episode right there. Thank you, Laxter. Good stuff. Subbed in multiple languages too. So if English isn't your preferred language, there might be one there for you too. And that's it. Holy crap, almost a 3-hour show all on my own. I hope you found it informative and entertaining and a nice way to spend your Friday if you're here with me live, or a nice listen wherever you're listening. Yes, my friend in real life and many of you in podcast life have let me know you want more blind rankings. I've seen the feedback. You love the blind rankings. When we have more people here, I know there's at least one more blind ranking in my email. So if you have the question, goninpod@gmail.com. If you have blind rankings you want us to do, send them there, because it seems like people really like that. Also, send your music there. Help out your local mom brain. But that's it for me today, guys. Next week, I'm sorry to tell you, it will be another Friday show. I know for sure it's going to be another Friday show. Will there be people here? I would imagine Do will be here. I think so. And we'll see what else happens. But that's all I got for you, people. It's a Friday. Eat some pizza. Enjoy the weekend, damn it. You deserve it. You deserve it. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. And for my after show crew, I'm spent. I got nothing else for you. I'm done. Mom Brain just walked in the door. Mom Brain, you want to come say hi for the after show just to be nice? She's not here. She gone. I know she's here. She went into my office. Sorry. What a bummer. Well, then I guess I'm just going to go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope this week's show was better than last week's solo show. I'm awake and alert. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Play some games. Hang out with friends and family. Rest, relax. You deserve it. And I will see you next week. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.